and bar the tragedies, I mean, and there's been several, but I mean, you know, Bret Hart, and talked to Bret on several occasions, being upset because his parents are still supporting a sibling that he feels should be out taking care of her own life and not having to depend on her parents. Those are everyday things that happens in families. But then you tie into all the tragedies, the death of Owen situation, and I won't call that a tragedy, but what happened with Bret in regards to him leaving WWF and going to WCW, it's not a tragedy, but does it leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth and
Sure.
the families? Of course it does. The drug addiction situations, you take all this into consideration, and it's been non-stop for a number of years.
I could have misheard something you said, but she kind of made a comparison, the wife of
Jim Neidhart, Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie, about how she wished that they were farmers.
That was Helen Hart. That was Helen
okay,
who said that. Yeah, sorry.
The mother, right?
Yeah, the mother.
Okay, was she kind of? I got the impression that she was saying if they weren't in wrestling, things might have been different.
Yeah, that basically wrestling has torn that family apart.
See, because I think the family, no matter what, because as he said, their everyday problems, no matter what, it bothers me that she's kind of blaming it on the wrestling industry, where their everyday problems, therefore, they would have existed if they were farmers, which is the comparison that she made. I think no matter what they had done, I think they still would have been those problems that still exist.
Had they been farmers, just using that as an
that's
example,
the analogy that she
you would not have had the fame, you would not have had the popularity, the money, and certainly, and not just wrestling, you look at other entertainment avenues. I mean, look how screwed up Robert Downey Jr.'s life is. Entertainment, and when you get the money and the popularity and the ego and everything else involved, it will change people. And that's what it's done to this family.
The rigors of wrestling, travel, I mean, what it's done, drug addiction, which, I mean, any type of high-profile type things of that nature. Wrestling isn't the cause. It could have been a farmer. You get hit by a tractor. I mean, there's so many different things that can happen.
That's kind of what I'm saying. They're everyday problems that just seem magnified because they're magnified because they're famous, but they're not caused because of the wrestling.
I disagree. The wrestling gave them the popularity, and then that's when you get the egos involved. Diana, according to Bret Hart, wanted to be the next Rena Mera. Why anybody would want that, I have no idea. But she thought that, after Owen died, that if she became buddy-buddy with Vince McMahon and tried to align herself with them, that Vince would take care of her and make her into a superstar. Obviously, that didn't happen. But, you just can't believe, especially when you go back, to the days of Stampede Wrestling, or even 5-6 years ago, when the Harts were really dominating. The Hart Foundation was, Bret and Owen and Davey Boy and Jim Neidhart, and you had the pay-per-view in Canada and all the families there at ringside, and it was a great moment, and all of that now is shattered. It's just really, really sad to see that.
You want to know, this is a little bit off the topic.
It's a wrestling show, Julia.
But no, but it's about wrestling.
Go ahead, 7 seconds late.
Just something when you said the whole family and the Hart family were on ringside, I just clicked with what they're doing with Kurt Angle. And how they had all, not too long ago, they had the family.
Right.
Do you think, this is really off topic, or,
Go ahead.
I just thought, do you think maybe they might, I'm assuming that was really popular. From what I heard, the Heartland, right, am I saying this right?
The Hart family?
The Hart family, thank you. The Hart family was really popular in the wrestling.
Right.
But I didn't watch it then, so you have to let me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you think maybe they're trying to bring that popularity back in a way with the Angles, to a point that association, that family, that closeness?
I don't think so, because number one, I think that you can't duplicate that with the Angles, because part of what made the Hart family, the Hart Foundation, was the history with Stu, who's, got 82, 85 years old now.
Yeah, the training in the dungeon that would become really historical, where these guys weaned at, and not just the Hart family. I mean, so many other famous wrestlers that are in the sport today.
Chris Benoit, you go down the list, and Brian Pillman came out of there, and Bad News Allen, and I mean, you can go down a whole list of guys who Stu Hart trained and developed. And, it's just amazing to see what the jealousy, what the money, what the egos, and what everything has done to a family that really 5 to 10 years ago would have been the model family. They were all so close. Or
Well,
at
they
least
were the
seen
first
that way.
family of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
guess
you know,
could say.
before that, the first family was the Von Erichs. Look what happened to them.
Another tragedy.
I mean, it's. I've said this before. If anybody tries to ever say that my family's the first family of wrestling, give that title to somebody else. I don't want
The
it.
first family of anything.
Yeah, just
That's true.
move it on down the line. Somebody else can have that.
You got it.
457-1065. I think my voice has like another 2 minutes, and it's going to go for good. Julia, who do we have?
Okay, we have Hobby from Lewisburg on the line. Hobby?
This is Hoppy.
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 I thought it was Hobby.
Julie,
I thought it was funny.
that's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hey, guys, Happy New Year to you.
You
Happy
too, Hop.
New Year
What's
to you,
happening,
Hobson.
buddy?
Just prediction real quick. I want to go with Marty on this one and say that ECW, as far as bringing in a new, I don't think they're going to bring in somebody big, only because the money-wise, like Marty said, you can't bring in, like, say, Rena Mero, say we're going to offer you $3,000 or $4,000 to come in, and these guys.
Rena Mero may do a lot for $3,000 to $4,000.
Well, I mean, you bring her in and pay all this money, and you got the guy sitting in the back saying, hey, we haven't got paid 6-7 weeks, and you're bringing this new person in for all this money.
Good point. Good point.
I think somebody called in with some information about the VCW show. It will be the 27th of January. I guess the reason being, well, we haven't had shows there in the past couple months. I guess what I've heard is that they have their I guess training inside there because it's so cold out inside now.
Gotcha.
I guess. As far as a couple of matches going, you got Suicide Solution taking on one of the Po' Boys. It has been changed. He's going to have a partner now, which is Final Solution, and they're going to be taking on both the Po' Boys.
Okay.
Final solution.
Yeah. Nobody's heard. Real Deal got hurt.
Sure.
He's been out for a while, so just out of the blue, some big guy in a mask come out, and I guess they're calling him Final Solution, big guy, and he's been tearing up the house ever since. So not a bad move there. You got Billy Niles defending the heavyweight title against Dale from the Casanova Clique, one of Bull Miller's guys out of Columbus.
Okay.
You also got I'll Be Damned from Bull Miller taking on Independent Icon. You also got Porno the Clown and White Beater, the new VCW Tag Team Champions. They're going to be in a house taking on. They don't have a match yet, but they're going to be in a house. Same with Logan King and Trevor Lowe.
All right.
That's some of that. Anybody got information? It's 285-0289.
All right, Hoppy. Thanks a lot.
Hop,
we have
thanks
to
for
cut you off.
calling, man.
We got to get to a break. We come back. Your phone calls?
Yeah, we're
The
finding
voice
calls.
is dying. The
Hey,
voice is dying.
When we get back, we'll take your calls. We've got some more news to discuss, and you're listening to the Tag Team Champions of Talk Radio, the Wrestling Guys on WBKI Buckeye Country. Welcome back to the Wrestling Guys on WBKI Buckeye Country, and yes, we're brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann and Schultz, the accident attorneys, and Paydays. If you need a car, go see their Captain Credit at 275-0002.
Little faux pas at the Orange Bowl parade. Did you hear about this?
What?
Diamond Dallas Page was on one of the floats,
Okay.
waving, kissing babies, all
Being a
that stuff.
DDP, right?
On the float, it said Diamond Dallas Page, WWF champion.
Oh, my God.
Oops.
Nobody's seen that?
You don't think when Page was going up to the float, he saw that? Don't. Yeah, just a little
I'm sure he
dolt
did.
there. So,
It's like, look at this, Vince.
oh, jeez. Joe, how are you?
What's up,
Joe,
Joe?
just like Saunders in here.
Oh, hey, man, he runs
He's been
the
gone
place.
for like a month, and he finally walks back in
He
here.
may be one of the few people that's been gone longer than I was.
That's true. That's true.
the
And-
amazing floating Cheeto Man, Joe.
Yeah, that's a good gimmick. Hey, give you a recap of the news in case you missed us at the top of the program. Rob Van Dam is going to be back in wrestling for UPW, the WWF affiliate out on the West Coast. He's going to face Chris Daniels on January 31st. That match will be broadcast live over the internet. Shawn Michaels, talking about the reports of his return to wrestling, said he hadn't met with Jim Ross earlier this week. Talks went well, but Shawn Michaels says he needs to get back into shape. And that, it's been 3 years, folks. He's going to need a little bit of time. He's a little chunky right now.
Little chunky.
And that, though, that the door is now open for him to make a return to wrestling. Ratings, Raw did a 4.6.
Unopposed.
Unopposed. Grease did a 1.7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's huge. And we haven't said Thunder is on tonight. It was taped about 2 weeks ago, and I cannot remember what it was happening. So
Well, I guess we'll find out later. Yeah, that's not like you. Usually you're leaking everything.
Well, I have like about a 4 to 5 day period where I can remember the matches, Okay, yeah, that happened.
Jared
Nah.
Sitt made event.
Jared, thank you very much. Jared who?
Jared Sitt, I believe.
Jared Sitt. No. Sit back? Ah, jeez. I don't believe Joe.
Yeah.
Don't believe Joe. Joe's been inhaling Cheeto dust.
Trust me.
Inhaling Cheeto
yeah,
dust.
trust me. That's good. 457-1065. Take a couple quick phone calls as we wrap things up here.
Okay, here is Kid Chuck from Dayton. Kid Chuck?
Chuck, how's it going?
What's up, guys?
All right.
By the way, Kid Chuck last week was the winner of the 2-hour training session down at Les Thatcher's Main Event Pro Wrestling Camp, so congratulations to you once again.
Yeah, I'm going to be trusting my physical well-being into Les's hands. I'd be lying if I went a little bit nervous about that.
Well, you did call down there and give them your physical stature so that they could fit you for a bag to fit in after, right?
Not yet. Thanks for the tip, though. Okay, I want to put you guys on the spot. What do you think Heyman's surprise is going to be on Sunday?
I don't think Heyman Surprise is going to be a wrestler. I think it will be an announcement about a TV deal.
Paychecks. Oh, sorry.
Let me tell you what, if he announces paychecks, and I'll go back, and I can still remember the Heat Wave pay-per-view that was so successful here. Let me tell you why, one of the reasons it was so successful. Paul Heyman owed those guys at that time for 2 or 3 pay-per-views and other things. I can remember being at the hotel. We stayed there a couple nights with the guys. He ended up handing out paychecks before that pay-per-view. And you want to talk about endorphins high, people's attitudes going like sky high, even though they were still pretty good back then because of just a lot of youth. But let me tell you, you don't think that has a lot to do with it.
Do you know what those paychecks were? Those were paychecks from the very first ECW pay-per-view.
Yes.
So that is how much of a delay there has been. There are guys that are owed money still from that very first pay-per-view. Yeah, I mean, I think the number I've heard, Rob Van Dam is owed somewhere around $100,000. So the money that Paul Heyman owes, from people I've talked to, Paul's about somewhere around $5 million in debt. I mean, the guy has spent every single penny he can get his hands on, and I really don't know if there's anywhere else for him to go other than Vince McMahon, to try and get some money to try and save that company.
I do agree. I think it's going to be a TV deal, and I actually think it's going to be a prime-time TV deal on a pretty good network if Paul's going to make that big of a deal out of it.
We'll see. I think that USA's been pretty happy with what ECW's done with Farm Club as far as the little video they play every week. I know Paul's talked with ESPN2. He's also had some talks with Fox Sports Net. So there's a lot of different avenues that he could go into, so we'll just all have to wait and see.
All right, I'll give you my prediction real quick for this year.
Okay, what's that?
I think a Canadian named Chris will win the WWF World Heavyweight title.
Oh, that's good. That's real
Don't
good.
go out
there.
on a limb.
Yeah, that's
Now,
nice.
who would that be?
Yeah, so we'll
Okay.
see. Thanks a lot, Kid Chuck. Appreciate the phone call.
See you down at the camp.
He's going to be stoked. I called Les and gave him the information because here's the guy who won, blah, blah, blah. And Les goes, yeah, Sharky, I'll get a hold of him. So
I already told him, did he call down there with his physical measurements so they can get a body bag ready?
Yeah, he's going to need to. He's going to. And let's not forget, January 27th, the girl on the other side of this board, Julia, is going to go down, and she is going to get trained as well.
Yay.
And we are going to go down. We are going to mic that, and we are going to have a little program we'll play here on the show.
Yeah.
But it should be very good. If you are a female and you are wanting to get involved in this, 513-771-1650 is the phone number.
That's it.
January 27th, I believe 2 to 4, Julia, is that the time?
2 to 4.
2 to 4. And,
Someone else talk besides Shawn.
Hey, if you want to see what
Yeah,
it's like,
please.
yeah, it's a great opportunity. Come on down, see what it's like. If you've ever had any aspirations or thoughts about getting into professional wrestling and you're a lady, this is an opportunity just to come down. If you want to watch or if you want to be involved, you can be a part of it.
I'm going to wrestle someone.
You are going to wrestle someone.
Yep.
Let's take another call.
Okay, this is Mike from Dayton.
Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Okay, I got some predictions here real quick. Okay, Chris Benoit will win the world title.
That's
I like that.
okay.
And I hope to God if this one here comes true, Stephanie McMahon will be in Playboy.
Everybody likes Stephanie McMahon.
I guess so.
Whatever.
And the last one, Hulk Hogan will return to the WWF.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that think that. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know if Vince is willing to take that risk with the locker room.
Yeah, I think he will.
Although, I mean, I know I've heard from a couple people that, Hogan is very concerned about his legacy and that he wants to make sure that, obviously the ideal thing for Hogan to wrap up his career would be to go back to the place where he, really started it all with the World Wrestling Federation. So we'll see what happens.
And real quick, I want to say, I know that the voting is over, obviously, but I want to say a vote here real quick for the greatest moment in Raw in 2001 happened last Monday. Stephanie McMahon
Getting soaked with the beer and taking the top off.
And I wish to God that I would have recorded it, but I didn't.
Well, you got a good chance. You can watch it probably on Livewire or something this weekend. I'll probably recap that.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot for
Hey,
the phone
thanks
call.
for calling in.
I can't believe people got that excited over that.
Well,
Julia, I've seen you and the Hardys take off their shirts. You are just as bad.
Oh, she's glazed, man. She just goes comatose. You see her eyes light up, her face goes bland,
But they're
her mouth
hot.
drops
Oh,
open.
she's totally catatonic.
That's it. But now when, somebody's showing some cha-chas, then it's, nobody's supposed to look.
Exactly.
Ignore those. Those aren't there. They're not happening. They're a figment of your imagination. Do we have somebody on the phone, Julia?
Actually, no, they hung up.
Oh, they hung up.
They hung up. How rude.
You probably ticked them off.
I bet
Yeah.
that Stephanie McMahon comment I made.
Well, that
Oh,
wasn't
probably
very
did.
nice.
Hey, real
I
quick,
wasn't being mean.
something else is going on, a feud. Now, imagine this. Sheik Adnan Al-KC, remember him from
Yes.
the AWA, is feuding with a Gagne over the AWA name. Dale Gagne and his business partner, who own AWA Superstars, the name to it, are threatening to sue the Sheik. Apparently, he has been booking shows under the AWA Superstars name and has not given them any money or even told them the shows exist. So they are threatening to take him to court. So in the year 2001, who would have thought that the AWA and Sheik Adnan Al-KC will once again be in the news for getting into an argument with a Gagne?
Well, it happens over and over again. A lot of people say that wrestling is very history-related. It just goes from one term to the next, and here we go again.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Julia, now did you make
Yes.
nice with them?
I did. I think this
And
is...
did you apologize?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
This is Airwolf from Greenville.
Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you.
I got a question. When will Ultimate Warrior be back?
Oh, probably never.
Is that your prediction for 2001?
Yes.
I don't think that one's going to happen. Right now, that guy wants so much money to come back. He really didn't impress anybody his last time on a national level with WCW. Ultimate Warrior has made some comments that he would like to go to ECW, but I don't see Paul Heyman wanting to bring him in, because I don't think if Paul Heyman brings in a guy, and he's mentioned this before, like with the Road Warriors or Ultimate Warriors, somebody with a name like that, he wants to bring them in to put his guys over, and Jim Hellwig is not going to do that.
Yeah. My other prediction is for Trish Stratus to be in Playboy.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's a solid prediction.
But Trish Stratus is in Playboy. Could be. Who knows?
Whatever.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
What if the Hardy Boys were in Playgirl?
You would buy every freaking
Yeah.
issue.
The Miami Valley sold out of Playgirl fastest this month with one person
Family
spastically
show,
going from
family
show to...
show,
Andy would be
family
very
show.
busy that week.
Hey, we agree with you. That's a great...
Well, my mic's not killed yet. I'm surprised. Thanks a lot, Airwolf. Appreciate the phone call.
Golly, you
What?
guys are bad.
No, we're not. We're just
I
making
don't
analogies.
talk about wanting to see them in that magazine at all. Not that I would.
We
buy
haven't
it.
talked about that.
No, we've got our callers. They're calling in, voicing their opinion, and you're cutting on them every time that they have something to say. Every time they talk about a beautiful woman in Playboy, I mean, there's
I
a
just
problem.
don't want to hear that.
We gave you a Hardy Boys T-shirt, and you'd have thought she'd have spun in her chair like...
Oh,
50
my
times.
God.
Okay. I just, never mind.
Real quick, wrap up things. Don't forget independent shows this month. On the 13th, OCW is going to be at the John Bryan Community Center. On the 20th, they are back in Fairborn. UCW on the 20th as well with their pro wrestling camp and a show that night.
Big day at the 768 heavyweight tournament there, and some of the contestants, Big Daddy Raj Cox, Giant Bobo,
Big
looks like
Jim
the
Hutchinson.
record. Big Jim supposedly listening to Cam the Man Collins, going back and taking what is rightfully his.
And then you got Violent Championship Wrestling with a Fans Bring the Weapons match. That'll be good.
Yes.
January 27th, back at their old stomping grounds in Piqua, and we'll have all that information for you on the Wrestling Guys hotline, 285-0991.
In the month of February, one of the few months that you're going to see 4 pay-per-views, a pay-per-view every week, with the women coming out with a 4-way dance and a hair match.
And we are going to, I'm going to get, what's her name, Lana Star?
That's it.
Is that it?
Yes,
I will
Lana
get her
Star,
on this
don't
show,
you know?
and you guys can,
She's
voice your
annoying.
opinions.
She's so annoying.
She's annoying.
She's very annoying.
Also, don't forget the HWA, January 26th at the Grand Victoria Casino.
What a big show that's going to be.
Literally. It's
Yeah,
big show.
big, pretty good,
Like
huh?
that segue there?
Yeah, that's it, man. Mark Henry, Big Show, Chunky Butts 1 and 2, Jimmy Cornette, Racket and all, and it's going to be one of the best independent shows in the entire Midwest.
And next Tuesday, HWA with a free show down at the Les Thatcher Main Event Pro Wrestling Camp. Call 771-1650 for details. We are done.
Woo! And you have been listening to the Tag Team Champions of Talk Radio, the 69th wonder of the world. We are the Wrestling Guys, and we're out of here. Good night, Dayton.
Later. A half hour ago, we had this show all set in a nice little package, ready to go. Am I right, Willie?
You're absolutely right, with a nice little bow on
We
top.
had the nice little
bow was your
format all
idea.
The
set
bow was
up.
my idea, actually. Yeah, you're right.
I can't even go there. Anyway, a little cherry on top. It was all set, ready to go.
You put a cherry on top of a bow?
Oh, that was Julia's idea. But anyway, we had all these ideas. We had all set up. I was ready to go.
I was
going to
say,
what happens?
earth-shattering breaking news, Shawn.
We knew, well, we all kind of knew it was going to happen.
Yes.
And the announcement earlier this week that Brad Siegel was under the gun certainly accelerated it. But tomorrow, the announcement will be made that the company, a company led by Eric Bischoff, will be purchasing World Championship Wrestling. The
That
deal
is absolutely
done.
correct.
Apparently, the company is one that's involved in like media-related IPOs. Basically, from what I gather, they come in and they basically take over companies which are down. Certainly, WCW is that.
Right.
And they build them back up. One of the ways they do this is through a lot of cutbacks. So, obviously, right now, a lot of this is speculative. There is a meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in WCW's offices. All of your various department heads are going to be there to attend the meeting. And then there's a conference call at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that is when the announcement will be made, and we'll have more information at that time.
That's-
But, again...
So some of the cutbacks, like, that we were hearing, too, we haven't heard anything of those, or... You know, like they were going to have a set amount of shows down in
Right.
Orlando, you know, that they were going to be doing the Thunder and the Nitros there.
We've heard that. Again, a lot of this is rumor right now, but that one place that they were looking at is Orlando. Another
Right.
place would be Las Vegas.
Sure.
And that basically WCW would become a television-only company, at least for, you know, the short-term period, that they would cut back drastically on their talent roster, on the amount of shows they do. And
They're down to like 50, though, already, aren't they? They had like 100 and some, and now I think they're down to 54.
Sure. I mean,
If I
they're
remember right.
cutting down, they're cutting back left and right. And it makes sense. I mean, again, the company lost, you know, somewhere between $60 and $80 million last year. So you have to make those kind of changes. And, you know, earlier this week, for those of you that have not followed the story on the Wrestling Guys hotline, which you should have done, 285-0991. Nice
plug.
Thank you very much. Earlier this week, Brad Siegel was put under the gun and told that you either have to sell the company by March 31st or that you have to close the company.
Right.
And we all kind of said, look, they're not going to close the company. The show still draws pretty good ratings for
Yeah,
what it
I mean,
does.
they're still within the top 10 of all the the shows that are on cable.
Right.
Believe it or not.
Now,
Julia's like shaking her head. She doesn't believe it.
I just didn't realize that.
I think they fall like right behind Rugrats. I mean, I'm serious.
Ooh, that's a
And
close
the
competition, because I like the Rugrats.
But you see, Rugrats gets good ratings as far as
It does.
cable goes.
I mean, to give you an idea, and I think we brought this up last week, you take a look at like Mario Lemieux's return to hockey, which was a huge story, drew record number ratings for hockey on ESPN. The rating was a 1.0.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a record number for hockey on cable. On the flip side of that, Nitro this past Monday, we're always bashing Nitro in the ratings. Nitro drew a 2.1.
Yeah.
So the ratings they get is very, very good.
That's right. And, you know, if they do go ahead and go with this television only for a while, at the money that they can probably generate from just, you know, ad revenues itself, they can probably get a nice little nest egg, and then they can be able to splurge and do whatever they want once they get the company going.
So you ready to do about 15, 20 updates tomorrow on the hotline?
That's not my. It's you tomorrow.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Like Willie was going to do any updates.
I only.
Well, that would take work. So anyway, I'm sorry.
That's the whole thing. The whole work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so obviously this, let's go ahead and open up the whole, can of questions. Is this a good thing for WCW? Certainly the company has lost money with its current direction. Now Eric Bischoff takes over. He, brought the company to its highest point 4 years ago with the NWO. He also led the company down the crapper with some of the deals he financed. The KISS deal, a lot of the different contracts he negotiated that were way above market value. You like that?
Is that a word?
It is now.
No.
It is now.
I haven't heard
Nor will
that.
it ever
I haven't
be a
heard
word.
words like that since What's Happening went out there in the whoa. I'm sorry.
Shirley looks
You know,
like Shirley, doesn't she?
it's-
Kind of, yeah.
It's
What?
Your hair kind of looks like... never mind. Anyway, Shirley.
Shirley.
And what's
Shirley.
happening?
He watches too much TV lately.
Oh, I guess I've never even...
We're trying to get some help for him.
Oh, boy.
I don't think it can be anything but a good deal for WCW. I mean, how, I know. I mean, watch Thunder tonight and figure out if it can get any worse.
Well, the one thing is you're going to have some people involved now which hopefully will have a direction for the company. Currently, they're just spinning their wheels.
Well, yeah, because they didn't know if they were going to still have jobs.
Right. But now, what will Eric Bischoff do? When he was there before, he tended to prefer the older stars. So will we see Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage now back in the picture?
No, I'm pretty sure you will. Well, if after Savage is done with Spider-Man.
Or did Eric Bischoff learn from his mistakes? Because even when he came back earlier, I should say not earlier this year, but last year, he really didn't get a chance. He was there for a couple weeks, and him and Russo had a falling out, and his involvement with the company was done.
Right.
Has he learned from the mistakes he made before?
I would hope so.
You would hope so, but... I mean, the one thing Bischoff liked doing when WCW's #1 was getting in Vince McMahon's face and saying, "Fight me."
Yes.
Literally, that was his quote. That's what he said, and he liked doing that. And I think the one thing you go back to and look at what really started to hurt WCW was when they signed Bret Hart. They really didn't have an idea of how to use Bret Hart. Had they got Bret Hart in the first go-around negotiations, and then Bret, of course, signed that, $25 million contract with the WWF.
Over like 100 years.
Right, exactly. At that time, they maybe could have put a hurt in the WWF because Bret was the #1 guy. But when Bret stayed with the WWF, the focus changed, and all of a sudden, everybody started hooking on to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Bret Hart became expendable for Vince McMahon. He didn't need that burden. Of course, we all know how Bret Hart left the company. So now, what does Eric Bischoff do? We don't know. And hopefully we'll have some kind of idea tomorrow, although Eric Bischoff has always been a guy that keeps his cards pretty close to his chest.
Yeah, I agree. And, I don't think there's going to be a lot said. I mean, this is going to be an ongoing story for, I would say, about a month. And I would also say, don't expect any major changes probably on Nitro this Monday.
Or the pay-per-view this Sunday.
Right. Yeah, or that too. I mean, it's going to take a while for this company to regenerate itself and reform itself.
Although, how would it be for the Mystery Man to come out? I could see this happening now this Sunday, is that the Mystery Man unmasked himself and it's Eric Bischoff.
No,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
You know what? All right, if they did that, I take my statement back that it couldn't get any worse.
So that would be
horrible.
Jeez.
At least that would show some creative idea, though.
It would.
I mean, a little. I mean, come on, give him some credit. That'd be a little creative.
It would be a little. You know what? I think they need to bring back, Clash of the Champions, stuff like that. I do.
I don't disagree with you, but will that happen?
No.
If they become a TBO-only company, it's possible.
It's very possible.
We'll see what happens. There's a lot of talk that that Nitro will switch over to TBS and Thunder to TBS, and TNT is going to become more of a woman's network.
Right, I did hear that.
Concentrating on like Lois and Clark and ER and that kind of stuff. And
I did hear that.
Your more rugged sports, men stuff. That'll be on TBS.
Can you grr again? What was that?
I don't know.
I didn't grr.
No,
that was
man,
Shawn.
I know
I
who
grr.
that was.
You wouldn't want to hear me grr,
I don't.
trust me.
Again, we don't know the exact particulars right now. You guys need to go off and...
No, absolutely not.
There's talk that it's somewhere in the $80 million range. Again, we don't know for sure, but hopefully we'll find out some more stuff before the end of the program. But again, if you're tuning in a little bit late, tomorrow the announcement will be made that a company led by Eric Bischoff will buy WCW.
Hooray.
Hooray. I don't even know where to go with you. I mean, it's like all the other news.
All the other news is secondary now.
Yeah, it's he's got okay. That announcement came out really, honestly, about what 30 minutes ago, 45
Something
minutes
like that.
ago. So
because
we're still,
before I came here, I stopped at home, and I I'm letting him know that I checked some sources, and yeah, there was nothing, and then I drove here, and then Shawn tells me this when I walk in the door.
It was really fun. I think Shawn yelled when he found out. I could hear it all throughout the building. It was just incredible. Just incredible. I was like, oh my gosh, something happened.
No, nothing with just incredible.
No, it's not just incredible.
You guys know what I meant.
Yeah. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about ECW, Rob Van Dam, of course, the pay-per-view this past Sunday. A lot going on there. Julie's giving it a thumbs down. She did not like it. You didn't like Rob Van Dam or the pay-per-view?
I'll talk to you during the break, because I think I must have missed something.
Did you even watch the pay-per-view?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't a WWF thing. Are you sure you watched it?
There were no cute catchphrases.
Yeah.
Well, no, there weren't. But no, I want to talk to you during the break about that, because I think I missed something.
We have a show. Normally we talk on the air. Okay,
But you
we'll
just
figure
said we're
that out.
going to break.
We're going to break. You're listening to the Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country, 106.5. Wrestling Guys show right here on Buckeye Country 106.5. What is that?
What?
Julia keeps, every time that I come back and the bumper music comes on, I come back, you kind of threw it to me real fast too. You didn't say, hey, Willie, you're going to come back and I want you to
You've
start.
done this show a lot recently.
How many times?
I have
I
been-
didn't know that.
I've been off for 2 weeks though.
Excuses.
It's not like I sit at home and when I listen to the show, it's not like I sit at home and I chime in, or I hear the bumper music and I don't play the home game
You need to
the Wrestling Guys.
You need to practice.
All right.
You should do that when you're not here.
I'll try to do that.
Seriously.
Okay.
It'll make you sound better.
Anyway, the Wrestling Guys brought to you by Diet Garofalo Managed Schultz.
Put a tiger on your team.
There you
See, I
go.
remember that part.
Put 1-800-INJURED. A couple of other news notes to get to before we move on and do whatever it is we do here. Another wrestling organization. This one's actually been around for a little bit, but now they're going to get their own show. The UWA, the Urban Wrestling. Is it Alliance?
Yeah, I think it's Alliance.
Alliance? The UWA. They're going to begin airing weekly on Black Entertainment Television starting on Wednesday, January the 17th at 9 o'clock, going right up against Thunder. So, kind of interesting move there.
That is an interesting move, actually. How do you think Paul Heyman feels about that?
About BET going with UWA?
Well, yeah, the UWA, is picked up.
Well, I don't know if there's really not that many guys in ECW as far as African American or black wrestlers that would fit, I think, in that. I don't really know what the breakdown. I think Mike Modest was working with the guys in UWA.
That's what I thought.
And he's white, so I don't know. If it's going to be exclusively African-American wrestlers or what it is, but BET is starting that on January the 17th. Rob Van Dam updated his website yesterday and said he has been taken off of the All Japan Tokyo Dome show later this month. He had been scheduled to wrestle Sabu, but Mrs. Baba, Giant Baba's widow, said, too many American wrestlers. Go home.
You've been here for an hour. Too many American.
Go home.
For an hour.
Yeah.
You go home now.
So Rob Van Dam is sent home. He is going to wrestle...
Huh?
What is that from? Isn't that from something?
Yeah, it's a little comedy thing.
Shut up.
No, it is.
But
It's
from what?
it's stand-up. It's stand-up.
It's just a stand-up comedy.
You know
I
what,
know I've heard that before.
We are taking away from valuable news time that Shawn has.
That's okay. However,
He's pacing now. Look at... Go ahead.
Just got this news built up. We had the show all nice and tidy, ready to go, structured, set, and then freaking Bischoff has to buy WCW. Anyway, Rob Van Dam is going to wrestle for UPW on January the 31st out on the West Coast. That match will be live via webcast on their website.
Really?
He also talked about ECW, and he said, everybody's talking about, me being back full-time in ECW. There's no full-time ECW right now.
That's right. I know that you said that ECW doesn't have another show even booked until the pay-per-view.
No, there's 2 house shows this weekend.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
But then after that?
After
there's
that,
nothing.
there is nothing until March. And the shows this weekend originally were going to be television tapings. And now, since ECW is no longer on the Madison Square Garden Network, which was their closest thing to a national television outlet.
Right.
There's talk now they won't even bring the cameras in for the taping. That they'll just do 2 house shows and save the expense of taping it, and who knows what they're going to do on TV as far as the ECW hardcore goes.
Well, there is none, though. I think there's only like one place. And in fact, isn't it, it's Big Daddy Raj, with the ECW thing. I mean, he hasn't, I talked to him. He hasn't got a tape in like a month.
Really?
For them. And I guess when he actually talked to him, and hopefully he's saying I can say this on the air. If not, he can kill me later. But I guess, he said that when he called them and actually asked them, where are the tapes? And,
right.
You want to put them on TV? Where are the tapes? They said, it costs too much money to send the tapes out. And they're only allowing them to send like maybe 3 or 4 tapes out at a time. So, I mean, they are definitely in a big financial crunch.
Yeah, you got to wonder, as much as Paul Heyman wants to keep that company alive, realistically, because, last time you and I talked about it, they were $5 million in the hole.
Right.
I'm sure now that it's, even
I'm
more
sure it's
than
more than that.
And, guys are owed $100,000, $500,000 from back pay. So it's just, you get to a point where, you just stop the bleeding. Wet the sponge and kill the thing.
Well, I would hope, if they do, I hope that Paul Heyman.
Mile, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I would hope that Heyman. I would hope that Heyman would rise again somewhere.
Sure.
Because I think the guy is really a genius as far as, I would say him second to maybe, Vince McMahon as far as like storylines and stuff. But I would almost put him in the same boat because, for what ECW, you look how much that the WWF stole. I mean, literally from ECW. Not just the talent, but as far as the way that they were doing storylines, so the way that they were making things become more realistic.
You can go back to the hardcore divisions, and that's
absolutely
both WCW and WWF.
Yeah.
They took that.
So I would hope that, if it does come to an end for ECW, that Heyman, and I know that the guy, for lack of a better word, has a little bit of an ego, or maybe I wouldn't say an ego, but he has a certain amount of pride that he does things on his own, and I would hope that he would look past that.
Some call it ego, I call it pride.
Yeah. I call it pride.
Come on, Ricky, let's go.
I think he should.
Right now, the hardcore wrestling fans know what that came from, and so
that's right.
Ian?
I don't.
Okay, that's okay. It was before catchphrases and all that. So anyway. Okay. But going back to Paul, once you become that much in debt, ECW is the only glimmer of hope that he has to hopefully pull himself out of that debt.
You're right.
You got to wonder if he's just, if he'll ever quit. Because what we heard is that he is going to run, if he has to, he'll let all the current talent go wherever they wanted to, and he'll work guys that he can pay $50 or $100 a night.
Well, he just told this past weekend, I think, that, he gave Francine and Spike Dudley, he told them, he added them to the list as far as people, hey, you guys can go off and find whatever you want. And both of them, I guess, came back to him and said, you know what, we've been in ECW so long, we're dedicated to this company, we want to see this company work, and we're going to stay here.
Let me give you an example. I know that Tommy Dreamer, we know, of course, how dedicated he is to that company. He is not taking any bookings on weekends. So just in case something would happen, with ECW, he is available to work ECW. He's taking bookings throughout the week to try and raise a little bit of money, but we'll just wait and see. A lot of resentment in the locker room also this past Sunday at the pay-per-view because they allowed Rob Van Dam to come back and work in the main event. Rob Van Dam, as well as everybody else in that company, is owed money, and Rob Van Dam has not worked for ECW because Paul owes him so much money.
Right.
Yet everybody else, Tommy Dreamer, Just Incredible, Nova, Sandman, all those guys are continuing to work every single show they can for Extreme Championship Wrestling. And Rob Van Dam shows up after being gone for, 3 months, 4 months?
Sure.
Immediately put in the main event. Again, we see him against Jerry Lynn. He goes over, big time, and once again, he's the darling of the company, even though he's still a free agent. He's not saying I'm as dedicated to ECW as everybody else is.
But I think what the rest of the locker room failed to realize is that bringing back Rob Van Dam and putting him on the pay-per-view would generate a buzz, and at the same, and I'm not just saying that a buzz because it's Rob Van Dam either. I don't want people to get the wrong idea.
But I know what you mean.
Okay, but at the same time, it just allows more recognition for the company, and it allows that maybe someone even a TV. A TV person might watch it, or someone who has if you have a cable company and you're just sitting around at home, flipping through the channels, maybe you hit the pay-per-view. Oh, look, it's Rob Van Dam. I think I'll put him on my cable
But is
station.
Rob Van Dam your draw?
I know, it was a long, convoluted way to get to that point.
But is Rob Van Dam your jaw drop to the floor surprise?
No.
ECWWrestling.com came out and said, this is going to change the face of ECW.
That's so disappointing me. That's so disappointing me. I actually saw the pay-per-view, and we have it on tape, but,
You want to ask her, give her $100 and she'll bring the tape in?
I have it on tape.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
No, but I was watching the whole time going, something's going to happen, and him coming back just wasn't exciting.
I mean, it was nice.
Right.
I like
It was
Rob Van
nice,
Dam.
yeah.
Nice seeing him back.
Yeah, I didn't even, never mind.
But there's no long-term plans there. He didn't walk out as the ECW champion.
No, he didn't.
So it was just a nice little one-shot deal. Thanks, Paul, but that
think
really
they
wasn't.
Well, they need to stop
surprise.
hyping things.
Well,
if
he
it's
did it
not
for
that,
free, too.
if it's not going to be that exciting, don't hype it. Hype it a little bit, but don't make people disappointed.
Well, you definitely don't watch anything that WCW does, then. do you?
No, I don't.
Hey, a little bit later on, Jason Bernstein from the World Wrestling Federation is going to join us. He is the man that is in charge of Tough Enough, which is going to be their reality-based television series starting, I guess, this fall. They're going to start it, I guess, in March or April, start taping the thing.
I'm going to have to ask him if they're going to have Puck on there.
Puck.
Can you see Puck? Puck would be a wrestler. Yeah,
Puck would be good.
Puck could be a wrestler.
Puck could be a wrestler.
I guess he could
They're
be.
calling it Real World Meets Survivor, and he'll be on about 8 o'clock or so, and we'll talk about
So
that.
they'll all be living in a house with, like, machine guns, I guess. And
Pretty much.
Yeah, no,
and then if
tiki
you're-
torches and
and if
everything.
you're voted
Yeah,
out of
that's
the
right.
house, you get, in front of a fireworks
I don't know if you
squad or
get.
something. Is that what it is? I don't understand what's going to happen.
See, well, we're going to have to ask him because, I
They
know
get
that
burned
they're going to eliminate people as they go.
Well, duh.
And
What is that?
and supposedly,
Go back to your Starbucks, Julia.
Yeah, supposedly, like, the carrot placed in front of these people is a possible WWF contract.
Right.
So they're all going to be, like, really big guys that can hurt each other.
There's
Probably. No, it's going to be women, too.
12
Well, you
women,
know what I mean? That they
12
still hurt
people,
each other.
8 men, 4 women. It's got to be better than Temptation Island, I would think.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that starts tonight,
How is
doesn't
that?
it?
You
Yeah.
know what's going to
It starts
happen.
tonight,
There's no
9
plot
o'clock.
to it. You know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I mean, come on.
Well, of course you know what's going to happen. That's why they want you to watch it.
You live what's going to happen.
Okay, too inside of a joke there, but...
I don't even know what it meant.
Anyway, we're going to take your phone calls tonight, 457-1065. So a couple things for you to talk about. The Eric Bischoff story. Again, Eric Bischoff's company buying WCW. What do you think about that? And the Rob Van Dam situation this past Sunday. What did it meet your expectations as a jaw hit the floor surprise?
So no, because I spoiled it.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
You did.
I did.
Why did you do
spoiled
that?
it.
I said that that's probably what it was going to be.
Oh, but you didn't. Okay. Well, that's not spoiling it.
But you
said
did
probably.
you give a teaser or a heads up? Hey, if you don't want to know what the surprise is,
No, I didn't.
you just gave your opinion. Really,
I
You
just
didn't
gave-
really
yeah, I
give
gave
your
my
That's what it
opinion.
sounds like.
That's
You didn't
true.
really spoil it. You just said this is
You just said
probably
this is
gonna
what
happen.
I think will happen.
Yeah, that is exactly
So
what
you
I
didn't
said.
spoil it.
Okay.
Because I
didn't
wouldn't have
spoil it.
believed you
Because
anyway.
everybody had their opinion. Some people thought it was going to be Chris Jericho. Some
Yeah.
thought that the Dudleys were going to come in. So
Yeah, there was a lot of talk.
Chris Jericho. That's interesting.
he was in New York for like a charity hockey game. So they
Oh,
thought
was
because
he?
he's in town.
See, and Chris
Well,
Jericho.
that would have made sense.
See, he came from ECW.
He did. Did you
I
know that?
that.
Did you know
You
that?
did know
I
that.
did know that.
Did you know Chris
Okay.
Benoit used to work for ECW?
Yes,
that?
I did know that too. I've seen old tapes.
Did you know Hulk Hogan worked for ECW?
I did not know that.
Well, you see, he didn't. I was just testing you. That's okay. We're going to take a break. When we come back, your phone calls, 457-1065. We are the Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country, 106.5.
Welcome back to the Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country, 106.5. I am Shawn Stidham. Willie F. in the studio tonight. Thank you very much for coming by.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
And we are brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. Put a tiger on your side.
Gosh, you still
I'm
ain't done.
sorry. It just flows that way.
You're right.
6 locations in the area: Middletown, downtown Dayton, Springfield, Lima. Everywhere you go, there's a Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz.
I wonder if I can, can I sue you for, injuring my pride?
How do you injure your pride?
Yeah. I don't get many catchphrases on this show, and I was like, wow, I was looking forward to.
I'm sorry.
He's gonna start crying.
He is.
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we want to plug it again, the Wrestling Guys hotline, 285-0991. And we have a new voice on the Wrestling Guys hotline.
That's right.
If you check out the calendar of events, Jesse, who has helped us out behind the scenes for the last year or so, and really has helped, been a tremendous asset to us.
More than I could ask of any other human being. I'm quite honest.
He's great. But
you don't understand.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
You have no idea. We won't go into it, but you have no idea how.
But he's kind of stepped out from behind the scenes, and he's going to do the calendar of events from time to time. And so give it a call, 285-0991. Speaking of the upcoming shows, this Saturday, OCW runs a show at the John Bryan Community Center in Yellow Springs. The week after that, you've got 2 shows. The first one, OCW, is going to be at the Old Timers Banquet Hall on the 20th. Okay. And Unified Championship Wrestling with a show, correct? Is that still on?
I think that got moved.
Did that one get moved?
Yeah, hopefully Roger will call. I think that got moved to the 15th.
Okay, February.
February, right.
640-2794 is the UCW number. You can get the details there. And OCW 229-8189. January 26th, the Heartland Wrestling Association at the Grand Victoria Casino. That one's going to be huge.
That is actually going to be huge. You have the Big Show. You have Mark Henry. You have Jim Cornette. There's like 6 guys coming from OVW, which is, I'm trying to remember who exactly is coming in.
Leviathan, or whatever that guy's name is he coming in?
I don't know if he's coming in or not. I can't remember the exact guys that are coming up, but those guys are, just close, so close to, a lot of the guys coming up, I believe, are on WWF developmental deals.
Actually, if you check out the new edition of Raw Magazine with Mick Foley on the cover.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the guys in it.
Yeah, there's an article about OVW, and some of those guys will be at the show on the 26th.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a huge show. Plus, you have the HWA every Tuesday night now. Mm-hmm. Like every Tuesday night.
For free.
For free. Down at the HWA Arena, workout place, whatever you want.
Les Thatcher's Main Event for Wrestling.
Yes,
there you go.
That. And, of course, you can call 513-771-1650 for more information on that.
And on January 27th, the Heartland Wrestling Association presents the Free Ladies Wrestling Clinic, which this girl's going to do.
Yes.
Julia.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, are you getting in shape for that?
I need to
You should have seen her coming up the stairs. She was asking people as they were walking by. People are frantically trying to get to their cars to go home. They have been here all day. From the rise of the sun till now. And Julie's going, can you please help me get up the stairs? I need someone to carry me.
I know they have that oxygen tank between the 2nd and 3rd floor just for Julia to stop and get a little refresher. But
thanks a lot, guys.
Now, and we are going to try to have her mic'd, right?
We're going to have her mic'd. We're going to tape it. We'll play it back here on the show. But from 2 to 4, January 27th, it's open to any female wrestler, female fan. If you just want to go down there and check it out. I don't know if guys are allowed. I can see
actually, guys are not allowed, from what I understand.
We're allowed.
We are allowed?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're wrestling guys. We're going to go in and tape her.
So that's right. We have to do that.
It's work purposes.
Kind of a catch-22, man.
I can't wait to see
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Never mind.
Also, January 27th, Violent Championship Wrestling running a show as well in Piqua with a fan bring the weapons match.
Yeah, it's it's Biohazard.
Biohazard and one of the Po Boys.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a tag team though. I thought it was
Has that been changed to a tag team?
I thought it was Biohazard and Suicide something.
Yeah.
Versus the Po Boys.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and
that's going to be
fans can bring the weapons and bring your belts, bring your chairs, your stop signs,
and they will use them.
Yes, they will.
I have been witness to it before. I've saw people bring broken beer beer bottles.
Yeah,
and actually give them to them, and then they crushed the glass.
Oh, nice!
Right there, and then use the glass later to do damage to each other.
That would hurt.
I was right there.
For more information, go to the website, violentchampionshipwrestling.com.
I used to manage the Suicide Solution. So.
I didn't know that.
He has a long history.
I have a long, yes.
He's managed the True Thugs, then he was against the True Thugs, then he managed the Syndicate, and then how many?
I was always, I don't know.
At one point, I think you managed everybody in Dayton.
I did. Willie F. retired, though. See, I'm the nice Willie F. now. I'm the nice. I am.
I know.
I come on this show. I put up with you, so I have to be nice.
Your mic will go off if you're not careful.
Anyway,
yeah, she has the power.
Again, the Wrestling Guys hotline. That was my mic, I think. Or that was his. Okay, 285-0991. And let's take some phone calls. 457-1065. Julia, who do we have first tonight?
We have Hellraiser from Ludlow Falls. Hellraiser?
Hey, guys, what are you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, do you think Austin will ever go bad?
Do you want to handle that?
No, you go right ahead. You go right ahead.
As soon as today, I know there's a couple rumors out there about Austin or The Rock turning heel at some point before WrestleMania.
Yeah, because I heard that The Rock or Austin probably go bad.
You know, I was going through some old tapes the other day, and I came across some of the Austin stuff when he was the heel against Bret Hart. He was so good at that.
Oh, yeah, he was.
And, I mean, he's classic at it. And you would like to think that at some point he would go back to that role.
And The Rock's not very good at it.
No, he's not a good. He's not a good.
He's not a good heel.
He's not a good heel. But with Austin, you got to wonder, you know, with his mainstream popularity, and Austin's one of those guys too. And I like Steve a lot, but I think he's also concerned about the T-shirt sales and everything else.
Absolutely.
And you know, there's some guys who say, "Well, I could never go heel because my merchandise sales are bad." And certainly Austin has the clout to veto any idea that, you know, would, if he didn't agree with it.
He does, and I think that Austin has really come out, you know, everyone was wondering, hey, you know, here comes Steve Austin back from injury, wondering if he's going to be able to perform. And I have to admit, I have been really impressed with Steve Austin as far as, you know, what he's been doing in the ring. He's been actually, you know, morphing to whatever the guys do, like, you know, the suplexes with the curtain, which I thought was, you know, except for the finish of that match, you know, because, you know, I really hate, you know, the screw job endings of matches, particularly when they build them up so much. But the, you know, the way that match flowed, that was absolutely a top-class match.
Yeah, I agree. Especially the finish, with the exception of Triple H interfering.
Yes.
With the, you know, the stunner and the block, and then the Olympic slam and the reverse. It was a thrilling
wonderful
finish to that match. And I agree, the screw job kind of put a little bit of a damper on it.
It did.
But we'll see. Hopefully he will get that opportunity to go heel again, by the way. 457-1065 is the number if you want to hop on board the Wrestling Guys here at Buckeye Country 106.5. Let's see who we have next. Julia?
Okay, next.
I feel like Bob Barker. What do we have next? Julia, bring it down.
Actually, he hung up.
You had a guy hang up on you?
That? Yes.
That is very... I can't believe that happened. Are you sure you didn't hang up on them?
No, I had him on the line, and he just is now gone.
Well, go ahead. You can maybe you can get a couple more phone calls in there. Speaking of Steve Austin, real quick, there is a new 6-pack video set that the WWF is bringing out. It's got all of the Stone Cold Steve Austin video compilations they've had out up until this point, and then also a collector's T-shirt that is available now at shopzone.com on the World Wrestling Federation website. And again, speaking of the WWF, at 8 o'clock tonight, we're going to talk to Jason Bernstein. He is the man in charge of the WWF Tough Enough television series, where you could become a WWF superstar, and it's kind of like Survivor. You got to register for it, send a tape. He'll give us all the details coming up a little bit after 8 o'clock here at Buckeye Country 106.5. And Willie, I've just had to step out for just a second. Julia answering the phone lines. And real quick, in case you're just hopping on board tonight, we want to again mention the top story tonight. If you want to give us your opinion, 457-1065. The announcement will be made tomorrow. There's an 11 o'clock media conference call where WCW will be sold to a company led by Eric Bischoff. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes, but we have a couple phone calls.
Okay, he called back after there was an accident. So this is Lord Greenbucks from Dayton.
Hey, Lord Greenbucks, how you doing?
I have returned, yes.
That's good. You've been gone for a while.
I've been cruising the Caribbean, you know, with Lady Greenbucks. She just needed a vacation from Ohio, and the cold winters, she just does not like it anymore.
Yeah, that cold weather, you really got to get out of here sometimes. You just kind of live it up. And, of course, a man of your stature, you can pretty much go anywhere you want.
Of course.
Of course.
That's why I let her just stay down there for another couple of months.
Oh, so she's gone and you're kind of just on your own?
No, I have the little babies with me.
Oh, okay, that's good.
You know, I have to take the kids with me, too.
Kind of like a Mr. Mom thing.
Yeah.
Good.
But I was so glad to hear that Eric has bought the WCW.
You are?
Yes.
Good.
We've been in contact with each other, and, you know, just kindly persuaded me to give him some money.
So you are the backer in this deal?
Well, some part of it.
So now we were told, from what the people told us, that it's a company that it deals with media-related IPOs. But yet you're saying that you're actually the backer for this deal.
I'm part backer.
Oh, part. So there's a group of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in there.
Well, good.
No, it's, we can't say all who it is, because if I do, then I'm out. I don't want to be out because I like to be in there,
I understand. What else on your mind tonight?
And just watching it this week and then having that mystery man, it looked like Ric Flair that was inside that Stay Puft outfit. You know how he was when he was in that black Scorpion against Sting back then.
Maybe that's where the idea came from. Somebody wrote on the internet, I can't remember who it is, that the way that mystery man's outfit looked, it was like a 5-year-old dressed up as a Parker for Halloween. That mystery, whoever came up with the design for that outfit should be shot. It's just a horrible idea.
All I know is that, Scott Steiner's got to be really just afraid.
Of his brother.
Yeah,
although I don't think it's going to be Rick Steiner now. Obviously, it was Rick Steiner under the mask the other night.
Yeah, obviously it was.
They put it on the internet so much, I think they are going to try and do some kind of swerve.
I would say so.
We haven't seen Sting for a while. We know that he has the elbow problem, but I haven't really... Sting was supposed to have surgery a month and a half ago, and he was going to be out 3 to 6 months.
Right.
I haven't even heard where he had the surgery yet.
No, I haven't either.
And maybe he's waiting for the company to be sold as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Greenbucks, thanks for the phone call. Let's go to one more call before we go to a break.
Okay, this is Chris, who is in Richmond. Hi,
Chris.
What's up?
Not much. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad.
Hey, I got a prediction on who the mystery wrestler is.
Okay.
I think it's Mick Foley.
No, get bygone. That does not work.
I don't think so.
No.
I even knew that.
No, don't start that.
No, I think
Thanks for the call, but I mean,
I think he had too much movement for Mick Foley now.
Mick Foley has gained the weight.
But you know what? Mick Foley, I think is great.
Yes, he is.
But Mick Foley can't move anymore.
No. And Mick Foley right now, again, we've mentioned this before, he and his wife are expecting their third child.
Yes.
The baby is due any day now, so that is why you don't see him around. That's why he's taking the time off.
Isn't that cute?
He will probably be back, soon after the baby is born. But for right now, he well-deserved family time.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Definitely.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, your phone calls, 457-1065. I'm Shawn Stidham. He's Willie F. Julia's across the board. We are the Wrestling Guys. Welcome back to the Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5, brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz.
Put a tiger on your team.
Hey, I'm not going to step on your catchphrase anymore. That is yours.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So we just want to make sure, you get to say that, because that's the only requirement you have for the show. You don't mind coming in, but
He has a catchphrase, and I don't even have one.
Well, whose fault is that?
Yours.
I don't write catchphrases. You are the queen of the catchphrase. I think you would have come up with your own.
I think your
WhatsApp was already taken.
No, I think actually your catchphrase is, Andy, I have to put you on hold.
And no, I'm not going to say that. Hey, Thunder is on tonight. Apparently the last Thunder under the regime of Brad Siegel. Yay! Matches you will see tonight include Jeff Jarrett versus Scott Steiner, Diamond Dallas Page, and oh wait a minute, is this no? Hold on, that's the Nitro. What the hell am I doing?
I was going to say we just saw that.
Grabbed the wrong one. You've got Scott Steiner versus Sid tonight, and again another return from the Mystery Man. Aren't we all happy about that?
The Mystery Man.
The Mystery Man. A number of 6-man tags and everything else tonight, so we're all happy.
Who is it?
Yeah, I don't really.
Well, it's Rick Steiner that's underneath it right now.
I don't want to watch it and find out, so can you just tell me? I don't want to have to.
The big reports. The guy that's under there right now is Rick Steiner.
Okay.
But I mean, and it was pretty bad that you had the entire crowd making barking noises, and the announcers don't even acknowledge it. Oh, I wonder who it is.
I mean,
who is that?
All you had to do was basically squat down like a dog and run around the ring, barking.
That's the only thing he didn't do. The event.
Yes, they were.
Oh my God.
Actually. Though the funniest part was when Ric Flair said that it was the #1 company in the world.
Oh my God! I cracked up so much when I heard that.
I mean, I would want one of my employees to say that, because at least he's going out there and he's got some
I agree
pride
with you. I just thought it just, the crowd was dumbfounded by it. They just kind of went, yeah, yippee.
Well, they did, because they weren't expecting that.
They did.
Thanks, true.
Rick.
That is true.
Hey,
what are you doing? You have too many papers.
I do. A couple problems for the WWF this week.
Yes.
Number one, this past Monday, they had advertised a steel cage match between Billy Gunn and Val Venus.
What happened?
We're getting to that. Calm down over
do you even call the hotline?
No. Oh my God. I see you guys in person. I don't need the hotline.
No, all right.
See, that's it.
I just can't. Anyway, so
Shawn, I'm going to take an ad out tonight in the Dayton News, just so you know.
Thanks for
All
sure.
right, no problem.
Anyway, so they're supposed to have the steel cage match, so they get to out in California. They set up out the entire set. They're ready. Oops, we forgot the cage. Which is a mistake that you would expect from other companies, but not the WWF. So, can you imagine the guy that had to go up to Vince McMahon and say, "Boss, we forgot the cage.
Put on my coat and put my coat back on
And
there."
after he was fired for forgetting the cage,
He
poor
wasn't
guy.
fired. The guy's floating in a river somewhere.
Oh, that's-
Yeah, most definitely.
So that's why they turned that into a lumberjack match. Yeah, that's always exciting. I've never really been a big lumberjack.
Do you have SmackDown for tomorrow?
I have SmackDown. We're going to get to that. But
I'm
another
sorry.
problem the WWF had
Yes.
was the XFL blimp. And maybe this is an omen.
I saw this.
And hopefully it's not. But yesterday, the XFL blimp was flying around and everything. And it crashed in California.
It crashed.
Apparently,
Was anyone hurt, though?
Huh?
Was anyone hurt? Because I'll stop laughing if someone was hurt.
No, nobody's. One guy's in stable condition.
Oh, all right.
There was two passengers, the pilot and another guy. They jumped out. That
He
takes some
jumped
comedy,
out, yeah.
They bailed out, and the blimp ended up crashing into the Oyster Reef restaurant in Oakland. The blimp floated unattended for about 5 miles over Oakland. At one point, 1,600 feet into the air. It was advertising the new XFL. It was flying over because obviously Oakland has the AFC Championship game this week, so everybody's hyped about that. And no word yet on exactly why it crashed, but thankfully nobody was hurt.
So it took a really big bump.
It took a huge bump. So
That's sad.
think
But
Mick
we
Foley
shouldn't
can take
laugh.
a bump.
It's really sad, but
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
a couple of little
sad.
problems there this week for the World Wrestling Federation.
nothing they can't overcome, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
457-1065. Let's get back to the phone calls.
Okay.
We need to work on the transition of this, Julia. Okay.
This is John from Dayton.
Hey, John, what's up?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Could you tell me when the WWF's coming back into the Dayton area?
The closest they're coming to is the 30th, is it? 28th.
The 28th. The
28th.
SmackDown.
SmackDown in Columbus.
Yeah, SmackDown in Columbus.
All right. Thanks.
So there.
All right, no problem.
Bye-bye.
457-1065. Who's next?
The under...
You doing?
Hey, I got a question for y'all. It's about an old wrestling federation.
Okay.
I was watching it on the satellite. It was like classic wrestling, and Eddie Gilbert was in. What was the name of that federation?
It could have been any of a number of promotions, really.
Wait a minute. It was what was it called? Classic Wrestling?
Yeah, it's like, well, if you got satellite dish, you can get in the mornings for like for 2 or 3 hours.
WCW Classics?
No, it's just basically everything. I mean, they had stuff on like...
What channel was it on?
It was on the... I really don't know. I just crossed it, but...
There's a couple different options. And number one, if you have DirecTV, they now offer, Turner South.
Yeah, Turner South.
And
now.
they showed...
I watched that last night.
Was it good?
Yes, they had. It was Barry Windham versus Ric Flair.
They showed WCW Classics, a lot of the stuff from the Crockett days and even earlier than that, which is narrated by Dusty Rhodes.
Yes.
Then you also have, and this used to be on ESPN Classic.
Yeah, it was the golden age of wrestling.
Yeah,
but I don't.
That's why I was saying, yeah, that was it right
It was
there.
it was golden age of wrestling. I didn't think they went that current.
I didn't think so either, but they really showcased different promotions. There wasn't one.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the NWA or just WWF or anything like
well,
that.
the one I seen with Eddie Gilbert had Sting in it, Rick Steiner.
It was probably Turner Classic then. That's probably what you were watching.
Okay, my other question is about Scott Steiner. How long is his contract, and is there a chance he could go to WWF?
I mean, there's certainly always that chance. I think he's under contract for a little while, and I think that even though we expect there to be a number of cutbacks in WCW and a number of wrestlers let go, I would think that Scott Steiner would be one of the ones they keep around.
I would think so, too.
And here's my guess on who's going to go heel before it's over with. The Undertaker. We'll go with Vince McMahon.
You think so?
You think so?
Because he's going to get jealous of being number 3 guy.
Hey, Undertaker guy?
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you forget the cage?
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
I can ask everyone if they forget.
I just wondered.
All right, thanks a lot for the
but probably
phone call.
Austin
Appreciate it.
Sucks.
What do you say sucks?
I don't know.
Austin.
Okay, Austin sucks. Thank you very much.
He must have been talking.
That means something. Anyway, go ahead.
He must have been talking to Deborah.
I think so.
I don't think the Undertaker is going to go bad. I really hope it's Austin.
No, he's already been bad.
Well, you know what I mean.
I mean,
Go back.
go back. Go back to what?
Turn heel. Okay,
Turn heel.
sorry, I couldn't think of the words right away. Give me a break.
That's okay.
Hey, for those of you wondering about...
Can we get her a little glossary?
We need to, yeah. For those of you wondering about Taz, where he has been, he will be on the Craig Kilborn show tomorrow night, so
Yes.
you can check that out on CBS.
What if you haven't been wondering where he's been at? Sorry.
Gosh.
Can we kill her, Mike? I know she can kill ours, but we need to work on hers, I think, a little bit.
I want to switch on this side.
457-1065. And again, we do want to mention that WCW Sin is live on pay-per-view this Sunday.
That is correct.
With your big four-way main event with Jeff Jarrett and Sid and Scott Steiner
the
and the
mystery
mystery
guy.
man, whoever that is.
Mystery Man.
What the hell's that?
Remember that mystery date? Do you remember that little thing? You don't remember that?
I don't think I do. What
You don't
was
remember that little board game, and you opened up the door, and it was either, will he be a dream?
Why were you playing board games where you got to see if he was a dream or not?
No, I just remember the commercial.
Julie, I'm coming over on your side now.
I just remember the commercial for Mystery
Can we
Day.
take
You
a
remember
phone
the
call,
commercial?
please?
Oh,
Julie.
Okay, sure. Let's take Mike from Dayton.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Not bad. Bless you, Julie. Julia just sneezed, by the way.
Okay.
You threw his rhythm off.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was wanting to know what is your opinion? Do you think that the mystery guy could be Hogan or Macho Man?
No.
Well, you know,
Eric Bischoff to come back.
we have to wait and see. I don't know if we're going to see any real changes this Sunday. That'd be awfully quick.
You know what? I would like for it to be Hogan, just so the guy's like 2 feet taller. you know? Oh, he was squatting when he was out there before, if you watch the tape.
Again, with the announcement coming tomorrow that Eric Bischoff's buying WCW, really everything we know right now is just speculation, and who knows who it could be. I don't know if they'll, the odds are that the Brad Siegel team right now, they may not even know who it's supposed to be this Sunday yet.
That's possible, and I wondered, now, do they take control tomorrow? Do they take control of all the creative and everything, like tomorrow? I mean, is that it? They go, boom!
We'll find out.
We're in charge. Or do they allow the booking team to at least play out what they've already started?
Again, the conference call is going to be 11 o'clock. We'll be a part of that. And then hopefully around noontime, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we will update the hotline with the latest information as we have it. But again, I don't know how much information we're really going to know tomorrow.
Right.
It's probably going to be more dollars and cents and business stuff.
That's what I would say.
As far as actual creativity, where the company's going to go and who's going to be cut and where are they going to be based out of and everything else. So needless to say, tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day for the
you.
wrestling guy. This is this is like the big story so far.
I know.
This could end up being the biggest story of the year.
I know.
And you don't want to be a part of it.
I didn't say I didn't want to be a part of it.
What is it with January in WCW? Last year at this time, it was Chris Benoit and the Radicals all leaving and going every place. Now we have this, and
I had the whole Bret Hart story, remember? I went through all that. I had 7 updates that day.
I know you did.
Okay.
I know you did.
It's your turn.
I want to do it, though.
I understand.
I thought you would want to be a part of it, but no, that's okay.
What do you want? What, you want to call me and we can both do it together? I can go.
Are you guys done arguing?
Okay,
No.
Shawn. What do you got? That's what I would say.
Exactly.
I could be on the hotline going, put a tiger on your team. What do you got, Shawn?
457-1065. Take one more phone call.
Okay, this is Ice from Ludlow Falls.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good.
I got a question, and I think I know who the mystery man is.
Okay.
I think the mystery man is Bret Hart.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Why do you think it's Bret Hart?
I don't know. I just thought that because I knew that him and Big Papa Pump really never did get along, so I just thought maybe they would fight each other.
Well, I mean, from a storyline aspect, yeah. I mean, the idea that it could be Bret Hart or the idea it could be Mick Foley would be fun, but that's just not going to happen.
Maybe he's moving slow because of the concussion.
There you go. That's a good idea. Although Monday night, Bret Hart was out like the Toronto Raptors game. So
you're right.
Yeah, so as far as the placement, it just wasn't.
Could be like Bret Hart's evil twin.
It could be. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe Bret Hart will wake up and the entire past year of WCW had never happened.
Can we wake up?
He'll be in the shower.
It'd be like a soap opera, like Days of Our Lives or something type thing. Could happen.
Hey, appreciate the phone call, Ice. Thank you very much. We got to get to a break. When we come back, Jason Bernstein from the World Wrestling Federation and the Tough Enough Show. He's going to let us know what that's all about. You could be a WWF superstar.
That's right. If you play your cards right.
It's going to be big. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country, 106.5.
Hey, Burdette, just say in your hood.
In your hood?
I did not realize that was on there.
What is that?
That's food.com.
It's a food.com.
Food.com. In your hood.
In your hood.
Scary.
I never thought I would hear Kate Burdette say in your hood.
Neither did I. It's very interesting. Oh, my.
Welcome back to The Wrestling Guys at Buckeye Country 106.5. I am Shawn Stidham, Willie F., and Julia. Thank you very much. I try to forget so often, but we are brought to you again by Di Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. Put a tiger on your team, call 1-800-INJURED. I took your catchphrase.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Most of the time, we don't even remember there's anybody over on the other side.
We try to forget.
We try.
Mics. I have control of the mics.
That's right.
Okay, that's all I
Really?
have to say. Yeah.
So you're dating Mike's now, too?
Mike's, whatever.
Mike's, Andy, whatever.
And she was really coming on to Jason, too.
I was not. I was being...
Joining
We'll have to
us
ask him about
tonight
that.
from the World Wrestling Federation, his name is Jason Bernstein. And if you don't know that name, you will. He is the guy that is going to be behind the scenes of Tough Enough, a 13-week primetime series, which is being kind of like a Survivor meets Real World kind of thing. It's going to be broadcast on MTV, and it's your chance to be a superstar in the World Wrestling Federation. And he joins us tonight on The Wrestling Guys. Jason, how are you?
Great. How are you guys tonight?
Good, thanks.
So give us, did the idea really come from the success of Survivor? Obviously, that's what this is being compared to.
Well, there's so many of these types of shows that seem to be hitting the airwaves at this point, but I think ours is a little bit different than some of the other types of things out there, because it really does take an element that so many people are familiar with, which is the WWF. And so many things were always asked, how do I become a WWF superstar, or where do you guys train, or what goes into it, what do I have to do? And I think that there's so much of that the fans really do want to see. So why not take it to that extra step further and really show the fans really what it takes, while at the same time making a little bit of a contest out of it.
So the concept basically is going to be 12 guys, or 12 people, 8 men, 4 women, and you're going to have them. It almost sounds like a Big Brother thing where they're going to be in the same compound. They're going to live there, train there, do everything there, correct?
Right. Actually, they're going to all live in a house together, 8 male, 4 female. They're all going to live in a house together. They'll go off-site to train and to work out and to get work in the ring. So they won't, they will be able to leave the house. It's not like they'll be sequestered there.
Okay. And it really, this is open to anybody. You go to WWF.com, you can get the registration form, and you could, one of us could be in the WWF someday.
Well, I certainly haven't seen you before, but I could I could say that we certainly would be more than happy to look at your tape.
Jeez, that's a nice little shot.
Now, are you? It sounds like you would fall above the 18 category. Which
I would fall above that. Unfortunately, I also fall into the 5'5" category, so I think I'm limited in what I can do.
There is no height restrictions.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm set.
Now, are they going to be training like with the WWF, or are they going to be using like an independent organization?
We'll put together a team of WWF. I'm not going to say they're going to be the actual WWF superstars.
Sure.
Who are going to be.
But maybe like Bruce Pritchard, Tom Pritchard.
It's hard to say at this point, but it'll be certainly a team that we work with closely.
Sure.
Either within the WWF or from outside.
Okay.
So they could end up like in the Heartland Wrestling Association or UPW or something like that.
Hard to say at this point, but again, we're looking to take 2 of these winners and make them WWF superstars.
Now, are you wanting people that have no wrestling experience? Because obviously there's a lot of different independent wrestling organizations out there. I'm sure some people that wrestle for these companies will send in their tapes. Or do you want people that are totally green? Or do you want some people that have a little experience, or a mixture of both?
I really think it has a lot more to do with just your wrestling experience per se, whether or not you can perform moves in the ring. Certainly that wouldn't hurt your chances of getting into the organization, but I do think we are looking for a good variety of people. I mean, we don't want to put in somebody who has 15 years of amateur wrestling experience with somebody who's only a big strong guy and never worked, never before did anything. We need that good mix of talented athletes, but we're also looking for more than that, as we have in the WWF already, are those charismatic athletes, not just ones that can, do something in the ring, but also come on out. They're in the WWF. You need to have those mic skills, which we always, build for you and with you. But there's so much more to just being a great athlete. There's the whole character element is a very important part of it as well.
So someone like Puck is definitely not going to make that show. Please tell me you're not going to have that guy on there.
Hey, I would never say who.
Now, how can somebody, if somebody wants to apply for this, what should they know? Where should they go? What do they need to do?
We don't have too many restrictions on people. Right now, you need to start off by going off to WWF.com, find the Tough Enough link, head on out to that part of the site, download the application forms and some of the guidelines and restrictions. And basically, if you're over the age of 18 and you live in the United States, or at least able to work in the United States, because obviously that's where the program is going to be filmed, and you can make it to New York in late February or early March for auditions after we narrow down the selection, we will be more than happy to review your tape. And on that tape, we're going to be looking for a few things. I mean, certainly we want to know, why do you want to be in the World Wrestling Federation? And second, we want to see if you have a little character in mind. We'd love to see a little sample of that voice, of that look, of that feel. Of course, we want to see your physical size and build as well. And then, of course, if you have a preferred wrestling move or of some kind, as long as no one's getting hurt in the move or you're not doing anything dangerous to yourself, we'll be more than happy to take a look.
So it's just going to be wrestlers, though. There's no room for managers or anything, are there?
Not right now.
Oh,
Willie's a manager, so he was hoping that maybe this could be his big break, too. So.
Maybe we'll make that the next show.
Hey, there you go.
Now, how do you plan on getting people? Are you going to trimmed out? Are you going to have a tribal council, or just over the course of the
tribal council?
Well, you know what I mean. Are they going to be voted out, or what's going to happen here?
Well, I guess you could look at it that we're not going to have we'll have a tribal council in the sense that it'll be the WWF team that will pick who's not quite up to speed or up to par, should we say, for now.
So it's not the actual contestants voting each other out.
Right. It'll be really the best for this type of situation. This isn't just for a glory thing. This is for someone who really we need to identify who the most experienced people are in the group, and they may not be the most liked among the group, and they would have been voted out possibly. So we really need to find someone who's going to be the most experienced, someone who think we can work with, we can build, and choose that person down the road.
Now, you're going to begin filming this, you hoped, in March. When we can expect to see the episode on the air?
I think you'll start seeing it hit sometime this summer.
Okay.
We are going to start. The open casting call is going on right now. All tapes must be in by February 3rd. And we anticipate by pretty much the end of February that we are going to be able to narrow down to probably 400 to start. We don't really know how many tapes we're going to get, but if the response after 2 days is any indication, I think we'll be looking at several groups of 10,000s and
wow.
Keep it moving.
Wow, that's an incredible number. Again, WWF.com, you have the link there. The show is called Tough Enough. You're also, I know WWF and MTV are kind of getting together, at least Viacom, with the Manhunt TV series. How's that coming along?
That's going to be another great show for us. That show will be airing on UPN. And that also should probably kick off sometime this summer. That's going to be a little more of a game show style than a necessarily reality show per se, although it will be reality for a handful of contestants who will make it on. They'll actually be going through challenges on each episode and kind of, without giving away too much at this point, going through obstacles and challenges and needing to get from base to base per se. And if they get captured, they're out. And we'll have a team of manhunters who will actually hunt down the contestants each day, and each day one more will be caught until it has one person left, and therefore a winner. So that should be another pretty interesting show.
Yeah, and I know we're seeing a lot of the reality shows come out right now because not a lot of people know, but the impending actors' strike is looming over everybody's heads with SAG and everyone. So I know we're going to see a lot of these shows. What is going to be like the one thing that is going to be, the main drive? Why should people watch this show, like, say, over, Survivor 2 or anything else? Or yeah.
Sure.
Or Temptation, because it's Temptation Island, that's why not to watch that one. But
yeah,
anyway,
exactly. Who wants to see that happen?
Exactly.
But I think that's a great question, and I think for a show like Tough Enough, we're taking two proven formulas here, one being the WWF. We know we have a tremendous fan base who have shown their loyalty over and over again, and we know that we're starting this show off with that fan base. Also, with MTV and their experience, and probably can be considered the pioneers of reality television, if you'd like to go that far.
Yeah.
We're taking two proven formulas, and with MTV's audience, their experience, in reality programming, both of our cross-promotional abilities, and our 9 hours of television of WWF programming every single week, we think we'll be able to pull in the audience for that show. For Manhunt, I think we're looking at a unique concept in itself. There's always that, there's something about a reality show that makes it certainly interesting, but when you start hunting down players, there's something that adds a little more intrigue to that. It's like that hide-and-go-seek when you're a kid, and hiding and seeing the person in the distance coming your way to hunt you down. It's going to kind of bring back a lot of those type of memories and fun for a lot of people, I think.
Let me ask you, I've talked to a couple people about this Tough Enough show, and basically it's going to go over, what, a 12-week format? How long will they be together in the
They're
compound?
going to be together about 9 weeks. The training program is going to be 9 weeks, and we'll break that up. We'll probably make about 13 episodes out of that. So there won't be cuts on the first probably 2 weeks, let's say, and we'll work out the further details as we move forward, but there probably won't be cuts right away because we do need that couple of weeks to really put them through the workout and really see who's who and what they can do. And then we'll probably start cutting people in weeks 3 and 4 on the episodes. And, again, we're going to probably, it could be one person or two people cut in a given day. It doesn't necessarily need to be one a week like some of those other shows.
Like the other shows. The one question I was asked today is 9 weeks realistically enough time to train somebody to become a WWF superstar?
Well, it's another good question. Here we are with 9 weeks of training. Certainly we can identify the people who have the skills. Now keep in mind that the show is going to be taped and in the can before it starts to air.
Sure. Right.
So that'll give us several more months of working with those particular individuals before they actually would make a debut on a program or however we're going to put it together. So, by the time the show airs and the 13th episode airs, we'll actually have them in our possession per se for upwards of 5 or 6 months before they would actually hit that 13th episode and the public is aware who won the actual show.
Well, it sounds like a great idea. This little merger with Viacom is paying off well, isn't it?
Never hurts to make friends in high places.
His name is Jason Bernstein. The show is Tough Enough. Again, go to WWF.com, follow the links, and you could be a WWF superstar. How exciting is that?
I think it's great. It's a great idea. I really do.
You got us hooked, Jason. We can't wait for it, and keep in touch. And good luck with everything you got going on this burner right now.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, no problem. Jason Bernstein from the World Wrestling Federation. Again, if you want to have a chance to be a WWF superstar, and really, this is
a bona fide shot.
This is as good as it gets. Go to WWF.com, follow the Tough Enough links, download the application, send that in along with the tape, kind of like an audition, and who knows, maybe we'll be talking about you here on the Wrestling Guys this summer. Isn't that big?
That's incredible.
That is huge.
That's incredible.
You know what? We've got her going to the camp on January 27th.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I think we need to get a tape of her
at the camp.
Absolutely.
Because we could film that and send that off and get it in by February 3rd.
Oh, certainly. This could be Julia, we are going to make you a star.
You go ahead and try.
We just wait a minute. We just want 15%, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Though between now and then, okay? Between now and the 20th and the 27th, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to try to find a personality.
Oh.
Okay? Because you're going to need one, because that's what he said. You're going to have to try to find a personality, something that you can latch on.
I'm seeing, I gotta say this, I'm seeing this evil Willie shine through once in a while.
I mean, what have I done to you?
Nothing.
Nothing, that's the problem. 457-1065, we are going to take a break. When we come back, more of your phone calls. You're listening to The Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country 106.5. Welcome back to the Wrestling Guys radio show. I am Willie F. with you.
Not the hotline.
Congratulations.
I had to think really long and hard on that, too. Shawn Stidham is here, along with the lovely 69th wonder of the world, Julia. And Shawn, I know you just raced back. Is there any more news on the
No, I had good mentoring, so that's why I was racing back. Sorry. Go ahead. You got to do that plug thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, right. And the Wrestling Guys show is brought to you by Dyer Garofalo, Mann & Schultz. Put a Tiger on your team. Offices located all over the Miami Valley. Called 1-800-INJURED.
And again, we want to thank Jason Bernstein from the World Wrestling Federation. Again, that website is, of course, WWF.com. Follow the Tough Enough links, and you could be a WWF superstar, Willie F.
Yeah, that's right.
That's huge.
Well, I can't be a WWF superstar.
You could. You could.
No.
Julia could.
Julia could.
We're going to sign her up for it.
Yeah, right. I don't think I get very far.
To see Julia sequestered, for what, 9 weeks? Or the show's going to run over 13 weeks. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, a lot could happen.
She could.
A lot could happen.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go with this. She. I thought for about 5 seconds it was a bad idea, but now I think it's a good idea. She could. I mean, look at her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It could be like China's sister.
She could be.
Kind of.
She could be.
I'm not tall. I don't have black hair. How could that possibly be?
Maybe, you're probably about the same age as China. Probably. Kind of. Right? Well, maybe like
How
you're...
old's China? She's
what, late 20s?
Yeah.
Mid-20s?
I'm early 20s.
Late 20s.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe like, maybe like, like your twins kind of thing. And China came out. No, wait. China came out, and then, like, you followed. Like, I don't know,
what if instead...
Like the afterbirth.
What if instead we go like Lita's cousin? She can get the tattoo on her shoulder.
Yeah.
Dye the hair every week.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea, I think.
I want you to come up with that gimmick so that when we... Yeah. So that when we do film it... Yeah.
And by the way, we played phone tag this week, but next week we should have the head of WOW Wrestling on next week, the Women of Wrestling.
We can send them a tape, too.
They have a big pay-per-view coming up in February. Yeah. Julia doesn't like one of the ladies there. What's her name?
Lana Starr.
Lana Starr.
Is she going to be on?
I can't remember which one it was you didn't like.
Yeah.
Is Lana Starr going to be on?
We're playing phone tag. We're hopefully going to work that out. There's a time difference there. But we're going to have Julia confront Lana Starr. And maybe we'll add one more.
I'm not making any plans next Wednesday. I swear to God, I'm not.
We're going to get Julia in that hair versus hair match at the pay-per-view.
No.
Julia, you said you wanted to cut anyway.
I do, but I don't want it shaved. Like, the person gets their hair.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't mind seeing that happen to Lana Starr, but I don't want that to happen to me.
Okay, some WWF notes. First of all, the Royal Rumble is going to be featuring a ladder match between Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. Also, Kurt Angle will defend the WWF title.
Don't say it, though.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it.
You'll find it out on SmackDown tomorrow.
Yes, you will. Also, at SmackDown, we are anticipating Chyna making her return in a mixed tag team match with Billy Gunn against the RTC, and, of course, Ivory would be involved in that.
Sure.
For SmackDown tomorrow night, as Willie F. said, you will find out who gets to take on Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship. You will also find out who will become number 30 in the Royal Rumble. There's a four-way dance for that honor.
I know who it is.
I know it is, too, because I got it right here, but, we won't blow it for anybody. And the return of K-Quick. He'll take on Test.
That's what I was waiting for.
Set your VCRs.
I was waiting for that.
Set your VCRs right now. And one more merchandising note. We get a lot of questions about this. The Xbox is coming out later this year. Bill Gates had the big press conference over the weekend. The Rock was there. You saw it Monday night on Raw. And the Xbox video game system will feature as one of its launch titles WWF Raw is War from our friends at THQ. The game is being developed by the same company that made the Ultimate Fighting Championship game, which... if you saw that game, it won a lot of awards, Game of the Year awards, so excellent game engine there. And you're going to be able to fight through the crowd. Fans will scatter, and all new backstage combat areas, and over 40 WWF superstars in the game. And that's October, I guess, when that's coming out. So
I'm going to be quiet.
Why? Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. I like the Xbox, but actually I prefer the Y box. But, there's a whole different connotation that comes up there.
457-1065. Let's take some phone calls.
Yes,
Julia, please. Can we get out of that? Thank you very much.
It can have joysticks, too.
Dual shock.
Whatever.
The Rumble Pack.
This is Stevie D from Dayton.
Hey, Stevie, what's up?
Not much. I got a perfect gimmick for Julia there.
Yes, that's what we need. We need gimmicks.
Okay. Well, we can do the China thing. Remember how they did China as the dominatrix?
Yes.
We can do Julia the same way. Call her Temptress.
The Temptress.
The Temptress.
Come out with a whip and stuff.
See, I said a long time ago, Mistress Julia, because she's a very sweet person.
She is, but there is a dark side to her.
There's a dark side to Julia. I think you could take that character and really run with it.
No, you have to admit, there is a dark side to you, isn't there?
No.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. I can look right at you and know.
She keeps drinking that water she's been drinking all day to make her act like she has today. That brings out that dark side.
The what?
The water. What were you drinking?
Listen to her today. I mean, she's like not her usual self.
Well, I know she spent some time at Starbucks today, and I think she got...
it was that tea that I had.
What was it called again?
It's called chai.
Chai.
It must have done something to me. I don't usually have it. That's what it is.
That's a good one. Why do we call her chai?
Call her Chai?
China and then Chai.
Well, she's already ripped off the 69th Wonder of the World idea, you know.
No, that was you guys. No, that was that one caller. What's his name?
I don't know. We have some. I don't know which one it was.
But we didn't transcript that show.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Anyway, we'll have to get BJ Bethel with the notes and see which one that was. BJ, email me if you can remember that. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a great idea. The Temptress.
I like the Temptress. It's good. Julie, you're not saying a lot now. You know, this is good. I think we should go with this for the rest of the night, and then Julia won't say anything. This is great.
Anything else?
Yeah, the Mystery Man.
Mystery Man. Who do you think it is?
I don't really know who to think it is right now. Bischoff was smart. He'd take over it as soon as he can to pull it out of the toilet. The way he was taking the punches Monday night, they could definitely make it was Hogan. I mean, I've never seen stiffer punches since Hogan's taken them.
Yeah, that's very true.
If not, hey, make it British Bulldog, and they can have their own. We need to get our life straight group.
That's right.
Bring in Scott Hall. Yeah, that would work. Appreciate the phone call. Thank you very much.
All right, talk to you guys later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and going back to, again, the big announcement tomorrow, we'll have it covered on the Wrestling Guys hotline. Eric Bischoff, a company led by him, is purchasing World Championship Wrestling. There is a meeting tomorrow morning at WCW headquarters in Atlanta at 9 a.m., a conference call at 11. Shortly after that, we will have an update for you on the Wrestling Guys hotline.
You know what, that guy brought up a good point.
What's that?
So, bring in the British Bulldog, okay? Bring in the Road Dogg, okay? Bring in Scott Hall. They can form the new NWO. It's like, now we overdose.
Oh, jeez.
Slam.
One thing about Road Dogg, and I don't know exactly what's happening with this, but we all know he's suspended for personal reasons. And
he got
worked his show. Yeah,
a little cold?
A little cold, a little
Oh, all right.
but he has this past, I guess, Friday, there was a show down in Alabama featuring a lot of the superstars from the 70s and 80s from that territory. You had Exotic Adrian Street on the card, the Fallers, and Bob Armstrong, and a couple of the other sons were there. They got attacked during the show, and out comes Brian Armstrong, a.k.a. the Road Dogg. And now he is booked to work for them on February the 9th, but he's suspended by the WWF. I don't understand how that works. I placed a couple of calls. Nobody can really answer it. If the WWF is saying, well, he's working for his dad, so that's okay. If you're suspended from the company, you shouldn't be able to work anywhere. I don't care if it's for your dad or not.
I agree with you 100%. I don't understand the reasoning behind that at all.
It's a little odd.
Maybe he won't be back.
Maybe not. I don't think they're really hurting without him.
No.
Certainly we don't have to see that tag team anymore. I think Kate Quick could turn out to be something.
But is Kate Quick going to come out and rap by himself?
I hope not. I hope not. Too. He takes on Test tomorrow night. That's bad enough. 457-1065. One more phone call before we get to a break.
Okay, it's Don Kirby from Dayton.
Hey, Don, how are you?
Don?
Don here.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I got a question. Bret Hart, he's done with wrestling. They had an interview on Fox about 6 months ago. He said wrestling made him sick.
Yeah, Bret
Hart fans, he's gone.
Yeah.
The best one died was Owen Hart.
Yeah,
But anyway, and on that Mystery Man, that was Macho Man the first time they came out with it. That was Macho. Very first one.
You think it was Macho Man?
Ric Flair was in the hall and he came out and he started fighting Steiner.
Yeah.
That first time it was Macho Man.
I don't think it was, but who knows? I mean, under the mask, it could be anybody.
Okay. But anyway, let's see. Another thing was the Road Dogg. He wrestled in Memphis because he was on wrestling the other night on Channel 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so okay, I was on that.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you very much. We got to get to.
I was going to ask him if he wanted to take a call. He was doing so well.
He did a very nice job. but if he comes in and you can't come in, so.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Well, no, all right. Then you can't come in.
Exactly. You got to protect your territory.
That's right. I'm going to mark my territory during the break.
Don't do it like your dog does. 457-1065. Talk about WCW. Talk about Eric Bischoff.
Talk about Julia's gimmick that we're going to send in. We're going to send it in. We are.
You're listening to the Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country.
106.5. The Wrestling Guys radio show. I am Willie F. along with Shawn Stidham and also Julia taking your phone calls tonight.
Yes, we are. We are brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz.
Put a tiger on your team.
I didn't step on it there.
Thank you very much.
You're okay now. 457-1065 is our phone number tonight. Recap a couple of other news stories. Ratings are in this week. Raw did a 4.8. A little bit low considering that Monday Night Football's over and the holiday season's complete, but I guess the American Music Awards...
Well, you didn't know if Britney Spears was going to come out in one of those outfits
I had a
again.
tough time flipping back over to WCW after Britney, did her little strip thing on...
Did she strip on that, too?
Yes, she did. God bless her. God bless her. Yes, she did.
What was I doing?
I don't know.
Was I actually watching, like, Nitro or something?
He must have been.
Oh,
I was flipping back, and, I watched Nitro. They went to commercial. I flipped over. There's Britney.
Are you sure Terry wasn't on?
Wasn't there some
Because
sort of,
if Terry
poll
was on,
thing?
Terry might have been on.
Terry had been on. No, it was Britney Spears.
No, but I mean, Terry might have been on. That's why
No,
I
it was
didn't
during the
flip
8
over.
o'clock hour, so it was...
You
I
were
missed
just,
it.
yeah.
Just a little busy there.
All right.
Hey, real quick, Rob Van Dam, you might like that. Joe would like this, I know. He's expected to sign a deal tomorrow that would make him a comic book character in the Circle of Darkness comic book. You have any idea what that? I have
no idea what Circle of Darkness comic book is.
But I guess it's put out by a longtime wrestling fan, James Boone, and Shadow Productions.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't know what that is. But Rob Van Dam is going to be a comic book character, so... Yeah. And January the 14th, if you've missed Fabula Moolah, and I know you have, she is going to make a guest spot on the WB's Nikki. Again, it's going to be January the 14th.
What?
Nikki.
When's that on?
January 14th. Don't know what time.
I think
But it's on the WB.
It's on the WB.
It's on the WB.
It should explain it all. It's on the WB.
It's on the
That's
WB.
right.
What is WB around here? 26? I think?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Okay. So I guess after Sabrina or whatever else is on.
I
What
like
else is on
Sabrina.
WB? Isn't there like a
Will you stop? I like
Wayne's Brothers show?
No.
That's still on WB?
I think they
Like
canceled.
Sabrina and Charmed.
How bad does
and-
something have to be canceled off the WB?
It has to be very bad.
I mean, no offense. I mean, they're up and coming network and blah,
Didn't
blah, blah.
WB have that show where they had like the little puppet and stuff?
Well, that narrows it down. There's been a lot of shows with little puppets. I don't
No, but I'm saying the guy and he talked to like a sock or something. I swear. It was on the WB, and that's like the last time I ever watched the WB.
I don't know what you're talking
He
about.
had a little sock. I mean, he had like a little puppet guy, and he
So it
talked to
wasn't
him.
Mick Foley, because we watched...
No,
Mick
it wasn't
Foley has
that.
a little sock puppet.
Well, you meant it wasn't a sock per se, but he like it was like a little puppet.
Okay, stop.
All right. One person who status is still up in the air with WCW is Tori Wilson. Of course, she was released because of money
acting.
issues. Well, no, it was money issues, not
No.
bad. Did you say bad acting or acne?
Acne.
Oh, okay, no, it wasn't that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she was making somewhere around $150,000, $250,000 a year just for being a valet during
And she
their...
was complaining?
No, WCW said you're not worth that much.
Well, no, she's not.
No. I mean, there's no manager, no offense, Willie.
Yeah.
There's no manager that's worth $250,000 a
way.
year.
No.
And it's particularly not Tori Wilson. They wanted to put her on a pay-per-appearance deal. She said no. They're still offering her around $75,000 a year, but she wants double that. So and maybe she'll get it from Eric. Who knows? Uncle Eric will take care
I
of
would
Tori.
take the $75,000
No
a year.
kidding. What does she do? She walks down on a ramp and...
I'm holding Billy's arm now, and I'm gonna go over here and
Hold Shane's arm.
Exactly.
hold Shane's arm.
Give me a break.
Yeah. 457-1065. Take a couple more phone calls tonight here at the Wrestling Guys.
Okay, this is Mike from Dayton.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, I got a gimmick for Julia.
All right.
Wait. Eric Bischoff is buying WCW. ECW is going down the tubes. And the only thing people want to talk about tonight is a gimmick for
The
Julia.
phone lines have been lit up since I said
What's
that.
your idea?
That's true.
My idea for her is to come in WWF as Stephanie McMahon's girlfriend, if you get what I mean.
I
Ah.
asked you if this was clean, and you said yes.
That might be the dark side.
That could be the dark side.
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon's girlfriend.
Maybe if it's not Andy, maybe it's Andrea.
Hey, I'd pay to see it.
Oh, my God.
Julia, we're talking a side income. This could be it. You could become Stephanie McMahon's girlfriend.
What do you think?
Stephanie,
I am not making any comment.
No
'cause I'm
comment.
still in shock that he said that. I'm still in shock. Oh, my God.
appreciate the phone
yeah, I don't
call.
think she
Thank
likes
you very
that.
much.
Uh,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
my
man.
God. I asked him if it was clean. He's like, yes. I was like, okay.
So,
That's clean.
So far...
What is clean about? Wait a minute.
Wait. So
All right.
far, our listeners have said Julia should be a dominatrix or Stephanie McMahon's girlfriend.
Why is that not clean?
What kind of person do they think I am?
Well, you could bathe.
It's a
Bathe
gimmick.
with her.
It's a
Fine.
gimmick. It's a character.
I know, but still.
Do you know what?
What?
The Undertaker, he didn't really come from the dark side. Just trying to let you know.
Next,
I know
we're gonna tell her there's no Santa Claus. Stop it. 457-1065. Who do we have next, Julia?
We actually have Buford Poe from Vandalia. He's actually in a
Buford
truck.
Poe.
Buford Poe. Is he a Poe boy?
Yes, he is.
Poe boy!
How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I was just calling to help y'all out there. I heard y'all tripping over your words there a little bit ago on the match coming up there in Piqua.
That's right,
Yes,
the VCW
please,
match.
Educate us.
Yeah, it's going to be Biohazard and some puke they got out in the back. Come out and help them out one night. Me and my brother's whooping ass on Bio one night. He come running out of the back to help him out. Some punk named Final Solution.
That's right, that's
The
it.
Final Solution, yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know who this puke is, but he gonna get it. He gonna get it good. He's like a little puppy there, sticking his nose in the wrong place. Well, we're gonna rub his nose in it, right?
Now, basically, the fans can bring absolutely any kind of weapon that they want.
Yes, sir. You got it right.
Now,
anything they want to bring, we'll put her into effect in that match.
Really, anything that they bring will actually be used at some point in the match.
You got it right, brother.
Did you hear that? Anything that they bring.
Now, if we were to bring Julia to the match, would you use Julia in the match?
She got a pretty mouth.
They actually.
No, there's some things we just can't go to, so that was off.
They might use her app for the match then.
Willie? Anyway, for more information about that card, go to violentchampionshipwrestling.com.
And what's the phone number?
January 27th.
Do you remember what the phone number? The VCW phone
we'll look up. It's 285 something. But it's on the VCW website.
Just dial that on your phone. 285 something.
Yeah, I like that.
And you can go there and find out everything about VCW. It sounds like a great card. You got to give it to VCW because they have done a very, very nice job in promoting that Piqua area. They have a great turnout there.
Great fan base.
For them before.
Yes, I have. I'll be up there.
Good for you. Are you going to manage?
Right.
Are you going to manage?
Logan Kane and Trevor Lowe were cheated out of some belts and I need to go rectify some situations up there.
I understand. Only you can do that, so that's good.
I can.
That's good. And again, Violent Championship Wrestling does a great job. They also work with the IWA out of Columbus sometimes, so absolutely great job they do up there. So love having those guys in town. 457-1065 is our phone number, and covering all the big stories that are happening tonight. One other thing, too, I guess to raise some funds, ECWWrestling.com, the official website for ECW, is going to sell some merchandise and some actual match-worn stuff and weapons and whatnot.
Really?
And they're going to auction all that off. So
on eBay? Or are they going to do it right there on the site?
On their own website.
Really? Right on the site?
So ECWWrestling.com, you can go there and check that out, too. And
what else?
I'm saying WCW.com is starting a new feature, starting with this weekend's pay-per-view. You can now order pay-per-views online. WCW says that is the easiest way to do so, and you can order WCW Sin on WCW.com right now.
Wait a minute. So you can go ahead and order it, and then they obviously then they know
somehow they know either you have DirecTV
cable
or cable or whatever, and they'll hook it up for you, set it up for you.
Wow,
that's big. But
they're really trying.
But honestly, the announcement about Bischoff couldn't come at a better time because that will spike the buy rate at least a little bit.
I would think so.
Because I'm sure that one thing we'll hear out of the conference call tomorrow is that Bischoff will be at Sin. I'm sure he'll be there in some capacity, at least for an announcement or something. So,
but I don't think that they have enough time to get something together before Sin. I would, I would just create this week as a wash, and I would just start off on Monday.
Do you think, though, that honestly this is, how many times have we said over the last year and a half, 2 years, okay, this is the point where WCW is starting over, and it's a brand new WCW, and let's go forward?
We've said it a lot, and actually I hope that, we'll say it again, and that this is the time when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean, as much as we bash WCW,
right?
I watched that WCW Classics yesterday and watched Flair and Wyndham, and it was like a half-hour match. That was absolutely amazing, and to watch that and to know what WCW used to do,
right?
Too, I'm hoping they can get back to that.
I've always said that the NWA, the Crockett promotions, and then even going into the very early '90s, WCW was my favorite promotion. The NWA.
Absolutely.
It was exciting, and it's kind of like, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, for example. Of course, the team's been down for the last decade, but there were those times growing up where they went to 2 Super Bowls. They were competitive. They were exciting to watch. So that's why you still watch and you still hope they turn things around. I would love to see WCW come back to the point where every week you don't know who's going to win the ratings.
That's right. So it could be like Eric Bischoff coming in, just like, a new coach coming into the Bengals, and they'll go like, 2-8, or 8-8.
But does Eric Bischoff, was it Eric Bischoff's creative genius, or was it Ted Turner's pocketbook, which allowed them to become so successful in 1996 and 1997?
I think they were dipping in a little bit into Billionaire Ted. I really think that they were, that allowed them to get the talent that they needed, but however, they had to be creative with that talent.
Right.
And what I think that they also need to do is put the foot down and say, this is our company, this is the way we're running it, you guys don't like it, there's the door, you can receive your last paycheck.
But we also know how close Bischoff is with Diamond Dallas Page, with Kevin Nash, with Hulk Hogan. Does Eric Bischoff have the cojones to go in there and say, guys, it's my way or the highway?
I think he has to.
I agree he has to, but will he? That's the million-dollar question.
You had something?
She was like waving her hand. What was that about?
I was waving bye. You were saying bye. So I was... Never mind.
Wow.
Live radio, you gotta love it. 457-1065. Let's get back and take a couple more phone calls before we get to a break.
That's what I was doing. Okay. This is Woodshock. Hi, Woodshock.
Hi, Woody.
Oh, God.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay, I got 3 quick things.
Okay, hurry up because we gotta get to a break.
First off, did you guys ever receive a newsletter I sent to you?
Yes, we did. Thank you very much.
Okay. Do you guys win on a regular basis?
Okay.
I'm asking, do you want to?
We don't have to pay for it, do we?
No.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. If it's free, it's for me.
Okay.
Shawn came up with a little catchphrase, and now Julia loves it.
Julia, for $25, it's yours. You can have that catchphrase.
I'm emailing Rod soon.
Emailing Wad soon, okay.
WadWrestling at AOL.com, okay.
And I show you with a sock guy who talks a sock pocket.
Yeah. Do you remember that show?
Unhappy Ever After.
That's it.
Ever After.
That's it. That is the show. And it was on WB, wasn't it?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You guys both owe me like $20.
We didn't bet 20. You're still sore because the guy took 100 from you last time.
I didn't bet anything for that. I just thought it was scary. It scares me that someone knows that and they're not like 5.
Willie owns it on DVD, the box set.
That's right. There's like 5 shows of it done.
The box set.
But you do. You have the little box set of...
I do. I'm
how many DVDs? No, this is honest. How many DVDs do you own?
I have about 700.
Oh, you have way more than I do. I don't even think we have 100 yet.
I have like...
I think you're a freak.
We're going to come to a break.
Julie, don't hold back. Whatever feelings you have.
When we come back, more of your phone calls and who knows what else. You are listening to the Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country 106.5. Wrestling Guys radio show. I am Willie F. Shawn stepped out to check up with some news. The lovely Julia on the other side of the console. And we are taking your phone calls, talking about the WCW sale, talking about the ECW pay-per-view. If you thought that Rob Van Dam coming in was the big surprise. Actually, no one's talked about it.
That made me so...
I don't think anyone cares.
I was really disappointed.
Why were you disappointed?
Because it was him that came back.
Okay,
to
well...
be honest, let me explain something.
What would have made that surprise for you?
Anyone but him.
Really?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been keeping up on the news with ECW. Since it's not on TV every Friday.
Right.
I kind of, obviously don't know what's going on.
But if you called the Wrestling Guys hotline at 285, if you called the Wrestling Guys hotline at 285-0991, you would know that.
Yes.
Well, I know, but the thing is, I think a lot of people, and I could be really wrong, but I think a lot of people might be a little like me, and since it's not on Friday, they don't maybe keep up. I didn't even know he was gone.
Julia, trust me, there is no one.
Oh, that's sweet.
There's no one like you, that's true.
I didn't mean that in a sweet way.
Okay, keep talking. I'm done.
By the way, we do want to send get well wishes to Marty Adams, who was off this week because he's a little under the weather. So.
Yes, Marty's. Actually, I think it's Temptation Island.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't want to miss that.
That's right.
You know, he's got the VCR set, popcorn in one hand.
Binoculars out. He's ready to go.
Whoever came up with that idea for Temptation Island was just retarded. I don't know who did it, but that's stupid.
But you know what? They're going to do really good tonight, I think. There's been so much talk about people
tonight.
bashing it they will do really well
They
tonight.
probably will, but I don't understand the whole concept. That was just silly.
The concept is watching people cheat on one another.
That's the whole thing. What is up with that? Why would you want to promote that?
Jerry Seinfeld joining us tonight here on the Wrestling Guest.
Yeah, I was saying, like, well, that's the same reason why, Jerry Springer is so popular.
It is.
It just
thing.
worries me a lot.
No, I know we're going off like wrestling tangent.
Yeah, that's right.
But real quick, because this has been bothering me for quite some
Go
time.
right ahead.
You know what? If someone calls you up from the Jerry Springer show, why would you even go on?
That's a good point.
Well,
I mean, does anything good happen
Jerry
there?
Springer show, for the most part, is a work.
I understand.
And it's actors and actresses, and they're getting paid to, portray these characters for the most part. There's some reality there, but for the most part,
But is it at some point? I mean, even the ones that aren't at work. I mean, wouldn't you just go? I'm not coming on your show.
At the beginning, obviously,
Hey, we want
it
to show you a surprise.
Yeah. I was like, at the beginning, it wasn't a work, and there were still a lot of people on. It's like, why would you do that?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to wrestling.
Better than Jenny Jones offering you a surprise. That
That's
can get
very
you.
true.
That can get you in a whole lot of trouble. Again, the major story of the day: Eric Bischoff and a company which apparently deals with media IPOs. That's all we really know about the company. We don't know any other names at this point. There will be an announcement made tomorrow that they have finalized the deal to buy World Championship Wrestling. Again, there's a meeting down at WCW headquarters at 9 a.m. Hopefully we'll find out a little more after that.
Yep.
And then at 11 o'clock is when the media conference call is going to be, and hopefully sometime after that we will get the update for you on the Wrestling Guys hotline about exactly what was said and what we can expect from World Championship Wrestling. And the question now is, can Eric Bischoff turn the company around? We're taking your calls about that, as well as what gimmick Julia should have. That's what everybody really wants to talk about tonight.
That scares me so much.
That's right. If you're just tuning in, Julia's going to go down to the Heartland Wrestling Association.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to do the women's clinic.
Right.
Then we're going to have it mic'd.
We're going to
videotape
tape it and video it.
And yes, and then we are going to send that off to Tough Enough,
which is the WWF MTV reality series, and we are going to try and make Julia a WWF superstar.
You
It will
remind
never, ever happen.
It could. You never know.
I guess that's true.
You could be the next. Which one is the one from Survivor that's making the movie with Rob Schneider? Colleen.
you could be the next Colleen.
Colleen.
You could be Vic.
Colleen, yeah, it's Colleen.
No, actually, I see her more as Susan.
Or Kelly.
Susan was mean at the end.
Wow. Okay. Do we have another call?
Yeah, let's go to the calls. 457-1065. Who do we have, Julia?
We actually have Mint on the line.
Mint?
Mint.
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 Mint. How are you?
Pretty good, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, I think the steel cage there, I think, is missing. I think it's due to the Mystery Man trying to make the WWF look bad.
You think the Mystery Man is the one that got hold of the cage?
That's right, and I believe the Mystery Man is Marty.
You know
He's
what?
not there
It's very
tonight.
possible. Have you noticed this stuff happens every time that Marty's not going to be here this week?
Like what?
Oh, thanks for throwing that out instead of just playing along with it.
Which stuff are you talking about? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll play on. Yeah, well, it's a good coincidence. We need to hunt down Marty and find out
It's
if
a
he
little
has the
too late
cage.
for that whole thing to work. Shawn, you kind of blew
I'm sorry. I'm sure if you go on, if you go up to eBay or auctions.yahoo.com, you'll find the cage up for sale, and it'll be from Classic Cards and Collectibles. So
There you go.
that'll be the clue if it's Marty. Thanks a lot for the
They should
call.
come out.
Appreciate it.
They should come out with a "Where's Marty" book, but I think it'd actually be too big for anyone to carry.
Oh,
Or actually,
Marty is sick right now.
I understand.
And you are bashing the man when he's down.
But
kidding.
But at the same time, it'd be like I don't think there'd be a contest to it. There he is. Well, there he is. Flip the bit. There he is. Look, there he is. Come on.
4 or 5. Speaking of books,
Yes.
Mick Foley once again is penning a couple of children's titles.
Is he really?
Yes,
See, I
he
did not
is.
know that.
He is also working on a follow-up to Have a Nice Day, and also later this month, China's autobiography is coming out.
Yes.
We will have copies of that to give away. We're trying to nail down an interview with her. That one's going to be a little difficult.
It
I'm
is.
hoping it's going to work out, and we're. Some people are trying to pull some strings for us.
Yes,
but
you are trying.
We're
but,
working on it diligently.
You can say that they're trying to keep.
There's some media people that are involved
There's
with
some
this.
media.
They're trying to block it, but we're going to
Come
try
on,
and kick them out of the way.
There's some corporate.
There's some corporate.
Come on, corporate weasels.
Corporate weasels.
Go ahead. There's some corporate weasels.
Be nice.
China is trying to come out. She is trying to speak to you people, the fans of China,
Can I turn
and
his
yet
mic off?
Not yet.
no.
And yet these corporate weasels are in the way. And I think, this is what I think.
What do you think?
You know, don't call them corporate weasels when you send off an email, but I mean, call it, well, because that would be bad. But you can say that I called them corporate weasels. But anyway, they are trying to block China from not just doing this show, but doing a lot of other shows.
Exactly. They're trying to control exactly what happened. So you can go to HarperCollins.com, WWF.com. Be nice. You know,
be very nice. The nicer that you are
with us,
they
they're
are
trying to help us. But
there's a couple people that are obviously there.
And let them know you would like to hear China on the wrestling.
Yes, that'd be a good idea.
I think that would be very good. I mean, Mick Foley's book came out. He called us the day it was released.
Yes, he did.
#1 bestseller.
That's right.
Goldberg book, bang, gone.
You're right.
Diamond Dallas Page comes on, book this one. It's just we do well.
That's what happens.
Let's take a couple calls, Julia. Who do we have next?
Okay, next we have Wolfman from Greenville.
The Wolfman. How you doing?
Fine.
You don't sound like a Wolfman. I was expecting hey there, Daddy, how you doing, or something like that. But that's not really a Wolfman.
Like Spanish Fly?
Well, not really like Spanish Fly, but your own unique kind of persona. Thank you.
That was Wolfie in the background.
Wolfie, yeah. Little Wolfette.
I think I know who the mystery man is.
Okay.
It's Vader.
Vader? There's a name we haven't heard for a while.
That's Vader with a really good girdle. That thing.
Vader.
That's why he couldn't move that well because his stomach had been pushed up into his spinal column.
Well, he had the knee surgery too, so that would always slow him down a little bit.
That's true too.
But Vader has said, unless he could come back to the U.S. and be a dominant force, he wouldn't be interested in coming back.
True.
So, we'll see. We'll find out this Sunday at Sin. And Julie, who do we have next?
We have, I forget his name.
Way to go, Miss Producer. That's good.
I think it's Tim Foley, actually.
Tim Foley, how you doing?
Hold on.
Good.
I want to ask a question. When ECW was on WWF at one time, do you think they want to bring ECW back to WF sometime?
No, I don't think you're going to see that because you got to remember when ECW came on to the World Wrestling Federation, that was when the WWF was losing the ratings war to WCW. ECW at that time was so hot. That was when Rob Van Dam and the Dudley Boys and
actually, there's a lot of bad stories from when ECW came. I mean, Vince and Paul managed to have a pretty good working relationship, but I know Rob Van Dam came across supposedly in the back as a prima donna.
Right.
Who else? Taz came off as. That's right.
I mean, we've seen Taz, and of course worked that out. Obviously, he's in the company now. But the WWF right now obviously is the #1 company. They don't need ECW to boost their ratings up. If anything, the WWF has helped them. How many months ago was it? 6 months ago when Tommy Dreamer wrestled Triple H on SmackDown. So WWF likes ECW, but as far as bringing him back in for an extended storyline, unless Vince is really feeling in a charitable mood, I don't think you're going to see that happen. Vince has offered to give them money so that they could help themselves, but I don't think he's going to bring them on his show and on his time to help them out.
I don't foresee that either.
Although I'd love to see it, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Good television.
I love that television. Julia, who's next?
That's
Julia, you're done. Julia has refused to answer the phone, so now she's upset. I don't understand.
See, now I know that there are people trying to get through to this show, so I want you to fire off an email to Clear Channels. Be nice. Don't talk about the corporate weasel that is Julia. Julia,
I don't understand what Julia was doing there.
Are you blocking
Julia, answer the phone.
Julia, are you blocking all the gimmick calls too?
What's wrong, Julia? Okay, so the phones are dead now. Is that what you're saying?
The phones have died.
The phones are okay. Now the phones are dead. That's good.
Okay, that's
a corporate weasel are back.
Stuff happens.
Right.
Stuff happens. So if you're trying to call through, we're trying to get to you.
That's right.
We're having some technical difficulties because it's flashing, but we just can't hear them. They're mute.
They're mute.
They're mute tonight. So anyway.
So what? So let's recap. You want to do a recap on what we've talked about tonight?
We can
Some
do
people
a recap.
Just, they comment the last second.
That's true. Obviously,
the Undertaker is in the WWF right now, just in case there's any more of those phone calls.
Shawn Michaels is not going to be at the Rumble, from what we know. So.
Right.
Okay, now let's do legitimate news.
Yes.
Well, you go ahead, because you broke it. You broke it here, and I don't want to take your thunder. I want you to go ahead. You say the big story.
Okay, the big story again. Eric Bischoff, tomorrow the announcement will be made that he is buying World Championship Wrestling. Details will come out at 11 a.m. press conference. We will have that covered and pass the information to you along sometime tomorrow afternoon on the Wrestling Guys hotline. Other news, don't forget Thunder is on tonight.
Right.
The WCW Sin, the pay-per-view, is on this weekend. Tomorrow on SmackDown, you will find out who Kurt Angle will defend the WWF title against at the Royal Rumble. We're not going to spoil it for you, but you'll get to hear that. One thing we did not cover, ECW, apparently Paul Heyman trying to get out to L.A. this week to hammer out a deal. This time the rumored suitor is FX, which is a division of Fox, so we don't know how the negotiations are going with that. ECW has a couple of house shows scheduled for this weekend. After that, nothing until the pay-per-view in March. So the future of ECW right now, not looking very good.
Not very good at all. And don't forget, you have OCW this weekend at the John Bryant Community Center in Yellow Springs, Ohio. You also have HWA next Tuesday at the HWA Arena. The
You're
HWA
trying to
camp.
change the name of that, aren't you? You want to rename that.
No, that's okay.
How's
But
Brock Guffman doing, by the way?
I have no idea.
Really? You haven't talked to him?
Nope, I have no idea.
Okay.
And now I promise you, because you've been good. Okay, even though I'm sure some radio dials that had really good frequency heard you over the air.
Yeah,
Well, boy, wait, no, not yet. Now, you can say one catchphrase. Okay, one catchphrase. This is my son Graham.
Hi, Graham.
Who came in today.
Oh, yeah, you know me.
Okay. Now there's probably about 5 million people listening to you, and you're gonna get transcribed all over the internet. So
Don't get nervous.
Go ahead and say something.
You did that just for Julia, didn't you?
There you go.
Yeah. See, that's Julia's favorite catchphrase. So there you go. All right. Julia, does that make you happy now? Will you answer phones from now on?
Yeah,
Are they
I'll answer phones. It makes me feel better.
Is
I
there-
feel more appreciated.
Did you get the technical computer thing all figured out?
I think so. I think it's okay.
Can we go to a call?
Can we go?
As soon as I
Take one
answer
more
it.
Okay, rapid fire. The rapid fire
Yeah,
calls.
go ahead, Julia. Jeez. You know Jobber's number? I don't know what's going on with that. Okay.
You know what? The show was going so well, too.
It was.
It really was.
Okay, you guys ready?
Let's get Julia around a computer and
Go ahead.
It's not a chat room. It's
Devlin.
Devlin, save us, please.
Hey, I'm trying.
Okay.
All right. With this whole thing about Eric Bischoff buying, WCW.
Devlin,
Are you
did you
just tuning in?
Did you just tune in?
No, I'm trying to make a quick point here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Now, since this may be a sign here, maybe since, WCW is kind of in trouble like ECW, maybe some company kind of staying the line as Eric Bischoff's company will come along and buy ECW and help them out.
I don't think so. Paul Heyman, I guess, has talked to a couple of people about putting in money in ECW, and he would still have the creative side of it. But Paul Heyman's gut does not want to give up all the control of ECW.
Not at all.
He wants to do it all himself. It's his baby. It's his child, and he wants to turn it around. So I appreciate the phone call. Thank you very much. Julia, thank you for getting out of your funk. It's every 28 days she gets like this. I don't know why.
Trust me, there's still a draft in here. She still has a lot of funk left.
All right. Everybody, again, don't forget the Wrestling Guys hotline tomorrow, 285-0991. We will have full coverage all day long of the sale of World Championship Wrestling.
Up to the second coverage.
Absolutely. How many updates do you think we'll do?
12.
12?
Yes.
Well, that's the over-under right now. We got to go. Willie, thanks for coming in. Julia,
Thank you.
very much. Marty, get better. I'm Shawn Stidham. Thanks for listening to the Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5.